shield dwarf like a shield maiden in the Vikings? Cool.
Okay.
Vaingate Chronicles, episode number 73. For 4 centuries now, Brotor Silveraxe has held the position of Dumathoin Goti, the archpriest of the dead, among the dwarves of the Banakaya. Just like his father before him and their great-grandmother before them, in that time Brotor has witnessed the processions of hundreds of dwarven funerals and officiated over many of them himself. Many were great heroes, others priests and priestesses like himself, yet others officials, miners, traders, nobles, and workers of stone. The fewest among them all had been children, and among the ones that did come here to Dumborin, the deepest of all the dwarven redoubts, were almost all exclusively stone-born. Here in the deep shafts below the Overcity's high halls, plazas, and palaces, below the forges and armories, barracks, quarries, mines, and training grounds of the lowers, but 3 temples lay, and it is to this temple, the temple of Dumathoin himself, the silent keeper, that almost all dwarves hope to be laid to rest. For it is a curse to any family who cannot perform the rites of Dumathoin for their beloved. Among the mourners who come to Dumborin, it is the stone-born mourners whose processions are the most extravagant. Their processions have been known to rival that of queens and kings, their feasts as mighty, their songs as somber, their offerings as rich as any hero or priestess. Long ago they came from as far as Kinhold and Vatorum, both now fallen, abandoned during the recurring Hageras that have ensued, mass migrations, as their numbers have fallen over the millennia. Now there are perhaps less funeral rites performed so regularly, but the ones that are brought here now are as precious and as honored as they have ever been. Thus, Brotor Silveraxe attends every funeral, every procession into the deep vaults of Dumborin, and personally assures the mourners of the sanctity of their loved one's tomb. Welcome to the Vaingate Chronicles. I'm Russell Kirkby, and I'd like to introduce you to Michael Adric as Michael Adric, Michael Bache as Adric.
Hello.
Michael Adric, and Joanna Grotenhouse as Dala,
Good evening.
and Barry Tahira playing Storm tonight.
Good evening.
And Nyla's turned into a wolf because she's away actually getting paid money to work, so she's not here. So there you go. I hope that our sound is actually coming through. What a nightmare that has been. Thank you for pointing it out, and we had a chance to fix it. I hope that somebody's still watching. Cool.
Wolf Skinwich says you're coming in loud and clear, so that's always a good sign.
Excellent.
Always a good sign.
I hope there's no echo. I thought I detected a little echo in there, but I might be wrong. I might be overthinking it. Hopefully not. Anyhow, let's do a wee recap. Let's start with Michael.
Oh God, where to begin? After catching up with a group after seeing Adric's mum, a lot of complicated emotions. But it was nice to have a little bit of something to do when we engaged with a group of goblin and ogre refugees that had been following us through the Underdark.
Right.
After a bit of discussion, managed to convince one of the guards to let them in and put them up in the old Colosseum, and then saw the Queen. A lot of success last session, really.
Right. You got to be a Ragnar.
Yeah, I got made into a Ragnar, which is really cool.
It's like being knighted, basically, isn't it?
Yeah. Saw my wife again for the first time in 2 years. And I bludgeoned a man that had been seeing her, which was even better.
Right.
In front of the whole town.
Right. Joy.
joy.
Yes.
It's,
Okay.
it's everyone's dream. Adric's feeling very good about himself right now.
Well, that's great. And Adric's spent the night with his long lost wife too, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Dala, what's going on in your head right now?
Dalla had a less successful session last week. She was really pleased to be able to be a part of bestowing mercy upon the refugees at the gates of the city.
Right.
So that was good. But then we went to visit the Queen, and they were offered some water, and she said, "Oh, thank you very much." But the water had been treated with some kind of crazy dwarven mead that um, she failed the constitution check on, and she spent the rest of the session feeling quite tipsy.
Right.
Disgraced herself in front of the Queen,
Oh.
and just a giggly mess, basically.
Oh dear.
The
Oh dear.
entire session.
Well, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? But she was very pleased for Adric and his wife, because up until coming to Bernard Fane, she hadn't had the impression that things were very good between them. But you know, she sees that's very much not the case.
Right. And Barry, how's Storm doing?
Storm is amused by all these creatures and their problems and their... Oh, they just don't seem to stop. The fight was good. I enjoyed the fight.
Watching Adric smash his wife's lover, basically,
It's what his people would have done.
and humiliate him.
Yeah, he feels he should have killed him a bit more.
Killed him a bit more.
Yeah. But and he found that the one they called Zala was amusing in her state of affairs. She seemed much looser and a little less uptight, possibly.
Right.
Yeah. So yes.
Right. Well, fair enough. Okay. Well, where are we right now? I know Adric's probably just waking up, and he's waking up in the arms of his beloved Maglia.
Yeah, Miglai.
Maglia.
And and he doesn't want to leave, but he knows he has to.
Right.
He has too much to do.
Fair enough. Well, she's not particularly keen to let you leave either, to be fair, and she goes about making various preparations quite solemnly. She says to you, so Adric, when will you be leaving for Dumboran?
You've got to... There's a lot to prepare for my father. And then immediately after that. And then from Dumboran back to Vaingate.
Have you thought about a casket for your father?
I only found out he died yesterday.
I know, I'm sure.
It's been a bit fast.
It's just a suggestion. We do know some people, however. I'm sure we can manage something. You said you have gold, Adric. Is that really true?
I have a lot of gold.
You do?
I have been part of a large heist.
What?
And stolen quite a lot of gold in Vaingate.
Adric, please tell me that's not true. You didn't steal gold.
Not from people deserving or that needed it. No, Drazael got me in.
Drazael?
And then...
Our cousin Drazael. He doesn't live here for a reason.
No, I know, but he's doing very well for himself there, through ventures like this.
But does he live alone? Is he married? Does he have children, Adric?
No, he doesn't.
Does he have good standing with the Temple of Moradin? These are the things that matter to me. These are the things that matter to our family and to our people.
Aye. But the gold was taken from a giant's tomb.
From a giant's tomb?
Beneath Vaingate.
So now we're stealing from giants too, then?
The gold's going to buy my father a casket.
Oh, Adric. Oh, Adric. Oh.
It was hard won. And look, it is better in our hands than those that are trying to steal it.
I thought you said you stole it.
It's complicated.
Well, you best fill me in.
Like he fills her in about, like, just not going into the whole thing, but he fills her in about the entire Vaingate Chronicle, the thieving from the Wizards of the Barrackyle. Just lays it all out for her.
Right. So you're telling me that you were working for Drazael, infiltrating the Barrackyle envoy to steal a cache that they were trying to steal for themselves.
Aye.
And so I see how you might consider that to be some sort of, I don't know, penance, excuse, something like that.
I'm not looking for penance. The money, the gold, is better off returning to the people and doing good things. Whatever they wanted the items for that were in there, it wasn't for any good purpose.
I see. Out of game, do you tell her about the book or any of the artifacts that you guys found?
Not about the book, but I do tell her about, my hammer, the belt, things like that are relatively inconsequential.
Right. We still haven't truly discussed that mark upon your head yet either. I must say that's been a little distracting.
That's new. That was
New.
shortly before coming down, actually.
I see. Well, I suppose I'd better get you up and ready. Hey, come on.
Okay.
Get those boots back on your feet, Adric. Are you going to leave those gauntlets alone? You haven't stopped touching them since you've opened that box.
No, they're for me, and I don't think he's told her anything about the Moradin stuff. I think he's kept that to himself.
Right. Fair enough.
I didn't know he died, and I can't let go just yet.
I see, Adric. Well, it's a hard road that we've chosen, isn't it?
But hopefully, I won't be gone for too much longer.
Well, I suggest that perhaps we should make a trip to the temple before you leave, and perhaps a small deposit of that gold you're talking about to the temple might go some way to repairing any damage that might have been done to your soul's future incarnations.
We'll see. We'll see.
I see.
I'm not in...
That's usually a hard no when it comes from Adric Thogdar.
It's a we'll see. I'm not very fond of the All-Father at the moment.
You're not fond of the All-Father. Well, I suppose I can see why. You've not been especially blessed so far. However, you do need to think about me, and you do need to think about the rest of your family and the standing that we are put in. Our family, our standing falls when yours does.
And it has risen. A Ragningar.
You are a Ragningar now, and I am very proud of you, Adric. Very proud indeed. And she pulls your ear.
I get it. I get it. I might deposit, but not for the temple. For you.
When you left this place so long ago, when you left Berenar Fane, you left many things behind. Much of your jewelry you left here. Do you remember that? There's a box of it in the house. I'll find it for you. Perhaps we can weave some of that back into your beard the way you used to wear it back in those old days.
Aye, that would be nice. I can't...
Do we have time?
No, I don't think we do. It's it's best we start the preparations for my father now.
Will I
Well,
be
Elia,
coming with you to Dumbarton?
I'd very much like you to.
Very
And
well.
plus, I've got to go and get my grandmother. She's not going to be happy that I haven't visited yet.
Aye, that is true. Hlyn is a tough lady.
Aye, that she is. And he he rubs like an old wound from her to make like what would have been a hammer strike on his shoulder for not paying attention.
Training exercise. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, she is a Ragnar, and now that you have made such titles to yourself, then I imagine she will be very proud of you indeed.
I very much doubt that.
Best we don't talk to her about the stolen gold, though.
No. There's a reason I've only brought it up now. My mother does know though, so
I see.
she might tell her.
Very well. So, can I just imagine then that the keepers of Vaingate, whoever they are, surely they must want your head on a spike.
No. It's the queen I told you about, the one that we rescued from that dragon.
The one they
She is
called
the-
Claresca.
Aye, Claresca. She is the queen of Vaingate. So
Aye.
we're in pretty good standing there.
So you stole gold and you rescued a queen from a dragon.
It's almost storybook, aye.
It's very epic tales. Epic tales, Adric. This will go down in the annals of our history, no doubt. Very well. Well, you got your boots on. Here's your axe. Here's your hammer, rather.
Aye, thank you. I'll go get my my fellows and I'll go meet Hlyn.
Very well.
And then shall I, meet you for the ceremony?
Yes, we have the cleansing and such like before we can leave, yes? Is that right?
Aye.
That's what you're intending? You're
Aye.
going to do this the
It's-
old way, the way your father would have wanted it.
Aye. Though, I don't know how much has been done since I left. I'll have to see once I retrieve his body.
Very well. Very well. Alright, so cut to Dala. Where is Dala right now?
Dala is in her room at the inn, and the montage of how her night has been is she parted company with Nyla and Storm at the inn. She went and she had a bath, she had a rest, she rearranged her spells. Before her rest, she chatted with Ren a bit using sending and asked him if she could use his phoenix carving. And she's zhuzhed that up a bit with a bit of paint and gone through her dragon's hoard treasure. And hopefully she found 2 yellow stones for eyes, an aquamarine for a tear, and hopefully some kind of red stone to put in around the heart of the phoenix.
Wow.
And she's written a letter to the queen. She's going to give this as a gift to her and outlined her plan to not disgrace herself on the dwarven drinks again.
Right, very good. I might get you to make. You've spent a lot of time over this, and you've used these. You've used your special pigments, I assume.
She probably regular paint just for the colors, and then probably the special paints for the fixing the jewels into the.
Okay. Can you make a performance check with advantage, please?
Okay,
Good luck.
thank you. Please, I want this to be good. Advantage. Oh my gosh, I actually rolled 2 criticals.
Oh my God! 2 natural 20s. Oh my God!
This
It was
is
meant
the
to be.
best art project Dal has ever done.
Wow, it is amazing. Okay, that is some stunning stuff right there. Okay, so you've gone to sleep having created this art object, which incidentally is worth quite a lot now. What is it backed onto? Is it on canvas or wood or stone or?
Well, it was a wood carving that Ren had made in
Right.
the Sufferance.
Right. Right. While he was imprisoned
Yeah, he said he didn't mind if she used it because it just brought back memories of thinking he was never going anywhere ever again.
Right. Okay.
Is it backed on anything? Wood is pretty scarce in Bernarfane, so I'm not sure that it would be backed onto anything. I'm not sure if she would have been able to find anything.
Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so you're planning to deliver it yourself, or you're going to give it to one of the dwarves to deliver?
She was going to ask at the bar
All right.
what would be the best way of delivering something to the queen.
Well, certainly one of the local guards will give you some advice about that and explain to you. In fact, he will be more than happy to deliver it himself in your name, if that's fair enough to you. If you sound like that, if it sounds reasonable.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. And she gives him the letter and the thing. I imagine she's wrapped it up in
right. It's a package
something.
That's being
delivered.
Okay. Very good, Barry. I got you on mute presently, so you might want to unclick that.
I get up, clean myself.
Do you lick yourself clean? 'Cause you're too ashy.
No. We don't do that anymore. That ritual is old.
I see. Right.
It's long since gone.
Okay, fair enough.
And besides, we'd be ripping our own skin off. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So I go downstairs to the inn.
All right, and Darla, you've just had your painting business sent off, so you're still standing around in the tavern downstairs.
How are we feeling this morning?
Oh, very well, thank you. I was able to use my healing spells on myself before I went to trance last night, so no physical effects. Just the memories.
So the Nyla wolf form approaches you and sits down next to you, cocks its head.
Oh, good morning, Nyla. Have you chosen this form today, or has it happened again?
She just looks at you. I'm not going to play Nyla too much. I'm not going to get too deep into that because that's her character, and I don't want to make any decisions for Caitlin on her character.
That makes sense. Dalla's just going to assume that she's stuck in wolf form then.
Yeah. All right. Very good. So, do you guys do anything particular right now?
I get something to eat and something to drink.
Very well. So you feed
Milk.
up, you power up. All right, milk. Okay, very good. What kind of milk do they have in the Underdark besides spider milk? They've got goats and a few other things and such. Maybe even some Roth cattle.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I have whatever they got.
Whatever they got. All right. So you have a feed, you have breakfast, and you get ready to go doing things. Adric, are you about to turn up anytime soon?
Yeah, I think so. He's probably already eaten at home, so he probably joins them while they're in the middle of their breakfast.
Right. Very good.
Dalla remembers when Leith was with her cousin, and she says, "So, how was your night?"
That was good. How's yours?
Not as good as yours.
I very much agree with that.
Excellent.
So the meeting was good then.
Storm, you needn't be so crass.
It was very good. I dare say, McGuire learned she liked larger Adric.
Oh, good gods! Right.
Adric,
Are you regretting asking a certain question now?
Very much so. You're
Adric.
much more forthright than Leith.
Adric, would you like to make a performance check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
13.
But is it with advantage? Yeah.
Is it with advantage?
Well,
It should be with
it
advantage,
should be with
surely.
advantage, surely.
Okay. Come on, come on, come on. Give me a good one. Oh, no. Okay, so it's a 13.
It's a 13. Oh, well, you know, it's not a bad performance after all. Okay, very good.
You know, I imagine it wasn't. It was, you know, hurried because it's been a few years.
Right. Fair enough. Okay, so what are you guys going to do now that you're all together?
My people made for 4 days.
Well, that's.
Why is yours so short? Mine is much longer.
Well, normally we'd go for
Wolskin
weeks,
Witch
but-
asked if the guidance given does that work, or was that for?
That's right. I forgot.
Oh
mine.
yeah. Okay, fuck it. I'll put the. I'll stack the guidance onto that performance.
4.
17.
Oh, okay.
So good.
Okay, well done. Okay, I'm pretty sure
Um,
guidance doesn't last all night, but I'll give you that. After all, you know, you've been touched by Moradin. You want to tell us on the little dolly where Moradin touched you? Just kidding.
There.
Just
and
kidding.
there.
All right, moving right along.
Well, you know, we would go for weeks, but unfortunately, I have to, you know, bury my father today. So, it's just there's no time, unfortunately. 4 days though.
Well, she's coming with us, I would imagine.
Aye. Just
Adric,
there's
the door to the tavern opens, and in steps this diminutive-looking female dwarf with long braids, silvery grey braids, a weathered face. The mark of a Ragnangar hangs about her shoulder on her cloak, and she steps forward and she says, "Adric Fogdar,
he stands up at attention.
you
Aye, grandmother.
finally back here in Bellenafane, are you? I heard you
Aye.
ran away like a little pissweed."
No, that's not what happened.
Not what happened. That's not what I heard.
Well, you have been hearing lies, grandmother.
Lies, you say? Oh,
I did not flee. I left. For
of your
work
own
to fix this.
accord, was it?
Aye.
I
Well.
see. Well, there has been much talk. Much
What have
talk
you heard?
indeed. Yes. Oh, about you. But that being said, I heard now that you've been made Ragnangar. And she looks down
Aye.
at her badge on her shoulder.
And Adric pulls out his own.
Ah, so you've been blessed by our queen then.
Aye.
Aye,
think I have.
aye. So I suppose I shouldn't knock you sideways and crush your tiny skull into the floor then.
You're welcome to try.
Ha ha. Try, Adric. Last time you and I fought, I believe you were the one lying on your ass.
I was also, you know, just shy of 15
15 in what, dog years?
human years.
Human years. 15. Oh. I'm
Quite
we've-
young, grandmother. I could barely lift a hammer.
Sure we've fought since then. That
Oh,
might have been
not
the
much-
first time.
Aye. Well, since then, aye. However, it's been 2 years since I last saw you.
Well, yes. 2 long years it's been, Adric Fogdar. And your
I've learned a
papa
thing or
has
two.
passed away, and your wife has lived in misery, and your mother has lived in shame. And that's left me as the head of the family to keep things somewhat in the good graces of our temple and our elders.
Well, you may need to head the family for ever so slightly longer while I
Well, you
go above ground.
go
There's-
above ground again.
Aye, there is a war to be fought, and I still have much work to do.
I see. Well. I suppose there's nothing can be done about that then, can there, eh?
You're welcome to try.
So when are you leaving for Dumborin?
At the earliest possible convenience. I was actually going to go find you so we could prepare for father.
Yes, I thought you might. That's why I thought I might come down and find you myself. I heard a rumor that you stayed with the Maglier last night.
I certainly did.
And is she well?
She's very well. I'm grateful that she's been well in this time.
Now, out of game, do you happen to recall the name of the fellow that you beat the crap out of last week?
Mardred Silveraxe.
Mardred Silveraxe, very well. And at that point, one of the other dwarves in the tavern says, I and Adric fought with Mardred Silveraxe last night too.
I wouldn't say it was a fight.
He's right there. Wasn't much of a fight. Adric smashed him like a little dog.
To his credit, he tried.
Not very. Yeah.
Though I mean, he was, quite deep into his cups, so I can't hold too much to him.
I see.
Would have been unfair to expect more.
Well, I suppose it was an honourable fight then, Adric?
After I cajoled him to pick his axe up after challenging me, I
see. Well, I suppose you should go about your business. This business of burying your father must come first. We can put aside our petty grievances with you for now, until you've had a chance to redeem yourself in the eyes of the temple. I see that you've impressed the queen, though.
Though I'm not too concerned about the temple, grandmother.
You're not too concerned about the temple, but the temple is concerned about you.
I don't see why.
You are a member of our family and a member of the citizenry of Berenar Fane and the Banakaya. Thus you are one of Moradin's children, Adric, and that will always be the case. You cannot run away from it.
I think I have more than redeemed myself for the temple. I brought his playing mask back to the queen.
Oh yes, Moradin's mask. I hear. I see. And is it truly?
If that's not going to ingratiate me to the temple, I don't know what is.
Is that truly what it is? It's not a forgery, is it? You wouldn't have found a forgery or worse yet, made one.
No. We had to fight through a procession of Barakail envoy to get it. I don't know if they would hold on to a feek.
Well, I'll have to take your word for it,
That being said, I didn't try it on, so I don't know for sure.
We'll have to take your word for it, Adric.
I'm sure we can find someone in the city to try it on for us.
Aye. I'm not sure who would try that cursed rack upon their head. But nonetheless, you know what they say about that mask, don't you?
No.
Whoever wears it is lost to history. Though much power it gives, their name shall not be remembered.
Probably better no one puts it on then.
Probably better, unless it's a fake.
Unless it's a fake guy.
Al is giving Adric meaningful looks.
And who are these then? Your friends, your overworld companions?
Aye. This is Gudela Dalatalandaran, a daughter of Twilight.
I see.
The wolf. She's not normally a wolf. This is Nyla, an Eladrin from the Feywild. And this large, strapping lad here is a newer acquisition to our humble party. This is Storm.
Storm, is it?
Yes, it is as you say. Storm.
We don't have many of those down here. Storms, that is. Storms, or other kinds of weather events. And as she says that, the room begins to shake. And even Helene looks around at the room as if this did not come from her. You figure that almost immediately. It is kind of a coincidence that she's talking about storms and weather events, but the room starts to shake. The shelves begin to shake and rock. The tables begin to shake. This cutlery falls on the floor, and cups fall and break.
That's quite usual around here.
We've not had one of these for a long, long time. I cannot see what this is.
Oh.
I have some concerns about this. The other dwarves look quite terrified, many of them.
Everyone get outside before, just in case the infalls.
All right, so everyone goes charging outside onto the street in the cavern of Berenor Fane, and dust is falling from the roof even now, and you see a large stalactite fall. Stalactite or stalagmite? I can never remember. One of
Tights hang tight to the ceiling. Might become stalagmites. Might become stalactites.
what he said. That
Yes.
Look at the big brain on you, Adric.
It's the hair that used to be there made way for all this good brain.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Well, the Crazy Willy said, "How's everyone? Hope you're all safe and well." We are
Thank you,
good.
Nixtra.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have who else has said stuff up here? Oh, my chat's going too fast to read. I'll let somebody else come back to the chat while I'm busy DMing, but we do not forget you, believe me. All right, so yes, a stalactite falls down onto the city from above, smashing into a nearby building, taking out the roof basically, and people come pouring out from inside of it, dwarves, of course, and they're looking about in shock and awe, and people are scrambling about, wondering and asking each other what's going on and so on. Guards start coming running up the street. A horn blows in the distance.
Adric holds his shield over his grandmother's head.
Get that away from me! I don't need you holding a shield over my head. I have my own shield. I should be holding it over your
use it
head.
then?
Because I'm not afraid.
Well, I'm afraid for you.
You should be. You should be afraid of me. Nonetheless. And there's another piece of rock falls and lands next to her, and she just crushes it under her foot. Not afraid
Carol's
of
hiding
nothing.
under her sentinel shield.
All right, fair enough. What's Storm doing while this is all going on?
Storm is like, well, I haven't got a shield, so I'll just stand here. It looks safe.
Okay. All right. I'll get you each to make a dexterity saving throw.
Okie dokie.
You could always pick Dala up and use her as an umbrella with her shield.
7.
That's a terrible idea.
It is.
It is
so
a terrible
bad.
idea, but
Dexterity
you know.
saving throw for Storm. Storm, you get a +6, so it's 13 plus 6 is 19, so that's the save. Gadale saves. Adric with a 7.
Does not do good.
Okay, Adrico.
This is concern for everyone else.
Adric, you take 4 points of stone falling damage.
Oh,
Yeah.
the shame of it all.
The shame of it all. I better make a saving throw for Hrelin to see. It sounds remarkably close to my wife's name, actually, and she's just as scary. And also just as tough.
Powerful.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's a 2. Okay.
Oof, even worse.
She takes 7 points of damage, but she doesn't even flinch. She just sort of does a scar on her face, a bloody mark from where the stone hit her. She looks up and wipes some of the blood off and licks it. Puts me in the
Hardcore,
mood
my
for
God.
puts me in the mood for some cold murder. How about that, Adric?
I like this woman.
How do we get about things then? Where to now? I'm coming with you, you know.
I wouldn't have it any other way. Well, first, we have to retrieve his body, and then put the oils on it.
Aye. Well, you know where that's done then, don't you? And you're not gonna like it.
No, I'm not going to like it.
Very well. So, long story short, you make the wee pilgrimage up to the Temple of Moradin, because that is where your father's body is being stored presently. And you find your mother there, and now also your wife. And you go about dealing with the temple priests. I'm going to get you to make a charisma saving throw. to see whether or not you offend them all.
6.
Alright, so you got less friends than you had when you started, when you come out of the temple, but you do have your father's body. The priests there give you a choice of 3 caskets with which you can bury your father and carry your father to Dumboran. And the journey there you're expecting will take 3 to 6 days, depending on conditions.
Yeah.
So taking him there in a big stone casket is optimal, but also the most expensive and requires a freaking wagon and some aurochs or roth to pull it. Other options are kind of lighter and faster. What do you see yourself for your father's casket?
I think Adric would want to go with the stone one, honestly. But how much would that cost realistically? Because I've got 4,000 gold.
900 gold pieces.
He shells it out. It's not even a question in his mind.
All right, so you can cross off 900 gold pieces, and now you have a big ass stone casket for your father, which he is now. Presently, he has been anointed and wrapped in ceremonial cloth. He's had incenses and blessings made upon him, and all of the religious stuff that the Temple of Moradin have as options to perform, commercially at least.
I'm grateful that they did all that.
Well, you didn't have to be such a bastard to them, Adric.
I wasn't trying to be. It's been a while.
You don't have to try to be, Adric. You're naturally a bastard, but when you speak, you should think about what comes out of your mouth.
I wonder where I learned that from, grandmother.
Aye. Blame me, I'm used to it. I'll be your scapegoat. Well, let us about our business.
Well, next up, sacrifice.
Maglia comes up to you. She says, I've organized a wagon for your stone casket, Adric.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you want me to fetch guards to come? It is a long journey.
I think between you, myself, grandmother, and the 3 of us, my 3 fellows, I think we should be fine.
Very well. As you will. I could organize a priest to come with us and light the way and bring about the cast blessings along the journey.
Adric really, really battles with himself over this, but
yeah.
That'd be best. That's what Father would want.
Aye, that is probably what Father would like, yes.
Bella's really freaking pleased right now. She's trying not to let Adric see how happy she is.
Yeah, can I make a perception check to see if I notice how smug she is?
What about an insight check?
Okay, yeah, an insight check. That's a 19.
19, alright. Yeah, it's pretty obvious that Darla is trying to hide something from you, and it's her inner joy at seeing you go through your religious turmoil.
No, she's just happy that he's coming close to it, and she's thinking maybe through this tragedy he'll have a breakthrough with his faith.
I think Adric just stares at you because he knows what she's thinking, and if you look at him, he gently shakes his head.
She's like, well, maybe.
Okay. A priest would be best.
Very well. And she says, well, I'd like to introduce you then. And this priest steps forward immediately that she's already organized. This is Ilde Silverstone. She'll be coming with us. And
Did you plan this?
Forgive me, Adric. I had made some arrangements prior to you coming back here. I'd already spoken to these people.
Okay, no, you're fine. Sorry.
What could I do?
No, you're quite right. You're quite right.
There's still at this point people running around and making repairs to the various places, including the temple through which you've just been, having just had this strange earthquake. And the priests some of them look quite concerned.
Have these quakes are they common of late?
No, Adric, we've not had one of these before. This is the first time.
The first time. That's concerningly coincidental with our arrival.
Aye, it is. It is. I hope you didn't bring some curse upon us.
Just the mask itself.
Well, I hope that's
I'll
not
be
what's...
back in a minute.
No worries,
Very
Baz.
good. Good luck. All right. So, from here, you organize your procession.
Yes.
And it is not long before it is forming at the gates. This time, the lower south gates. Because there's gates in the south and there's gates in the lower south, which is underneath those gates.
Levels.
Because there's levels.
That's the best thing about a dwarven city. It's less horizontal, but it has much more verticality to it.
Exactly. Yes, so you've got your stone casket on a wagon. You've got your priestess of Moradin, who's known as the Gothi, or Gothi, and her name is Ilda Silverstone, and she's just sort of standing back. She's wearing usual priestess kind of regalia. She doesn't really look like any kind of combatant, incidentally.
She's not a Dala level cleric.
She's definitely not a Dala level cleric. I mean, the thing about clerics and Dungeons and Dragons and classes is that they're kind of story archetypes as heroic characters, whereas this lady is a priestess, and she's not a hero priestess.
I gotcha.
So, yeah. And I suppose, barring Barry deciding that Storm wants to run around and pee on the furniture, I can say that because he's not here.
He's not going to beat your ass.
He's not going to beat my ass, exactly. He probably still will beat my ass, to be fair. But in any case, they open the gates, and your procession proceeds solemnly out of the city. And as you travel, your grandmother, just reminding myself of her name, is Hlyn Fogdar. She begins to teach you all some old dwarven funeral songs, some of which, Adric, you would already know.
Yeah.
You've been to 2 or 3 funerals before.
Definitely, and I think he also would have been to maybe a handful of the stone-born things.
Right. So fair enough. So you've made this journey many times then.
Yeah.
Actually. And the trip is a well-worn trip. And you begin to journey forward. And following this well-worn path down many stairs and, well, ramps rather, because you've got a wagon, there probably are places where there are some steps, and you have to sort of maneuver the wagon down it with your Roth cattle, who are your beasts of burden. And eventually you come down to this place that typically it breaks into a cavern, and the road travels through this rather uneventful space. However, when you get to this usual location, this turning point in the road, you notice that there's huge cracks in the walls. Yay! Somebody cheered. The Crazy Willy cheered for 50 bits, I suppose that is. Yes.
Woohoo!
Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that. So you continue through there, and you notice there's moss beginning to occur around here, and you can make perception checks, please.
Yes.
Okay, Andy is now following. Thank you very much, okay,
Huzzah!
Andy. Love your
Yay!
work. Storm, I'm going to make you a perception check.
Thank you.
The only thing that you missed was you leaving the city in convoy and heading out of Beranar Fane. Another cheer! Wow, holy crap. Okay, you
150, goddamn.
Storm's perception was a 9. Goodale's was a 24. I had to sneeze, so I muted
A
myself.
bit taken with this whole, all these people and big coffins and
Right.
yeah.
Right. Feel free to describe this coffin to us too, Adric. You got a 14 on your perception, so yep, okay.
I think it's very much like a what I imagine a Egyptian sarcophagus would be, but it's almost all stone and marble with like some beautiful metalwork inlaid into it. It's just
Right.
sorry, and it's not marble. Sorry, it's granite, beautifully polished granite, and on the face of it, just carved in before us leaving is my father's name, is sorry, looking at my wrong document, just Eingil, and just a little edda, like a little poetic edda of some of his notable deeds. It's not incredibly long, because
It's not incredibly long because the coffin's not very long.
yeah, yeah. Something. It's not a big coffin because he's a dwarf, but he was quite a stout man.
Right. Fair enough. Okay, so with your 14 on your perception check, Adric, you notice some of the moss around here is glowing, and you've never seen this before on this trip before. There's little patches of glowy moss and little sprinkles of light amongst the... There seems to be more vegetation than you ever recall there being, and you spot a mushroom popping out from a crack in the wall.
When did all of this start growing?
I'm not sure. I've never seen this before. When was the last time you were down here, Adric?
More than 2 years ago.
Aye, well, I've not been down here for that time neither. Anyone else here? And, you hear, I have been down here before. I've been down here a few times, in fact.
Wiggins?
Yes.
Wiggins, where'd you come from?
What do you mean, where did I come from? I came from my mother's belly. That's where I came from. Where did you come from? Somewhere else? Well, probably not from my mother's belly. Probably
not from
your
your
own
mother's
mother's
belly,
belly. Why? Why'd you ask that? What a strange
No,
question.
we lost you. I didn't see you come up.
Well, that's because you weren't looking properly, I imagine.
Aye. So, can you tell us about the vegetation then?
Ooh, well. Appears to be a little bit magical, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh. Feels like we could be passing through some kind of a crossing.
Is this similar to when we crossed into the Feywild?
You want to make an Arcana check?
Yeah. Weirdly, I've got a +2 to this.
Weirdly indeed. How the hell did you get that? Do you have proficiency in Arcana?
I'm just intelligent. He's got a +2 to intelligence.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's 18.
It does remind you of that. There is a sense about it. There's a feeling about this kind of compression, decompression kind of sensation that you have at the moment.
Wiggins, I think you might be right.
Those cracks back there, did you not see them?
I did, but it didn't strike me something entirely odd being this far beneath the ground.
Oh, well, yes. Those cracks, they weren't there before.
So, Adric, do you think those mushrooms would be from the... Oh, I wish Nyla was up.
Well,
Nyla, can you tell us, is that fey magic?
she's busy sniffing mushrooms.
Of course she is.
Licking the mushrooms, in fact.
Oh no, we're gonna have Nyla tripping. Okay, well, she's investigating, so I think she picked up on it before we did.
Right. Adric, just quietly, I don't know if this is inappropriate or not, but I do have a spell called Speak with Dead prepared. It feels completely inappropriate saying it, but if you wanted to speak with your father, it wouldn't be him, but he would have all the knowledge that your father had.
I would like a chance to say goodbye.
I don't know if it would exactly be him, though. Do you know what I mean? It's his body, but not his essence.
I understand, but it's... selfish of me, but I think I'd still like to.
I don't think it's selfish.
That's very kind of you. I'll definitely be taking you up on that offer,
Right.
but that'll have to wait until we get there, I think.
I think you're right.
Otherwise, he nods furtively at Ilda. Otherwise, I think she'd lose her mind.
Right. Okay. I knew it was inappropriate.
No, don't worry. You're in cahoots with the right blasphemer.
It's not a blasphemy. It's given to me by my goddess.
Okay.
What are you two talking about?
We're admiring the mushrooms and the glowing moss.
Storm, you notice that your fur is all prickling up on end.
That's not good.
Are you alright?
There's something here.
Should we prepare to be attacked?
I would get ready for it if I was you.
Helene has already got her hammer out and her shield is on her arm now. She's looking about.
My people are sensitive to certain things.
I'll take your word for it.
As you go,
Patrick
are you still
loosens his hammer.
Are you still traveling? You still walking? Still moving?
I think we were, but I think now that we've had this warning, I might just be slowing down.
Okay. As you slow down, you notice little motes of white light drifting in the air. Almost like ash or perhaps snowflakes.
That's strange.
It is strange.
Grandmother, have you seen this before?
Never seen this before, not in my whole life. And I've been alive for 375 years. Aye.
The day that we arrived, there was a funeral procession on its way. Have we heard from that procession? They would have passed this way, would they not have?
They would have passed this way, but that was not long ago enough for them to have returned.
It takes a few days to get to
They may
Dunboran.
still be on their way to Dunboran at this point.
Right.
Well, nothing left to do but continue then, Adric. What do you say?
Aye.
We're not the kind to turn back at a funeral procession. This is not going to stop us. No, we're Fogdarks. Ah!
Aye. Onward.
So, onward you move and you travel, and the path winds down deeper into the Underdark. As you know, Dunboran is the deepest of all the dwarven settlements and cities and redouts. The very deepest. It is deep under the Banachia. From the apex of the Banachian mountain ranges, it sits an equal distance below.
Damn.
So it is deep.
It is a deep
Deep. And so, the further you go down, it gets colder and wetter. And finally, you come out into this opening, through this opening, and at first it's just like a point of light in the distance, and as you approach it, you see there's roots growing around this hole that you're about to come out of, this tunnel. And so the whole tunnel begins to be surrounded by roots and twisting vines and things, and there's mosses everywhere, and there's more mushrooms, and these motes of glowing light continue to just drift through the air, gently, as if they're on a very slight breeze. The point of light
Dala
gets wider.
is going to. She touches her bear cloak that, oh gosh, I can't remember. Thorn gave her on the Isle of Shadows, and she's going to cast enhance ability on. How many people can I do that? Ooh, only one. I guess I better cast it on myself.
Okay.
Because Adric's got good constitution. She's going to buff her constitution, I think.
Okay. How much does it buff by?
Sorry, I've got something in front of it.
Hang on.
Constitution, where are you?
So you're using Bear's Endurance.
Yes, that's the one.
So you have advantage on Constitution checks, and it gains you 2d6 temporary hit points.
Yes.
And that lasts for an hour. It is a concentration spell.
Ah, yeah, it is. Oh,
Well, that's okay.
I wish I could do it on more than just myself.
Pooh.
It is
That's okay. Like Adric, I reckon Adric and Storm are probably fine.
probably, but Nyla might not be.
Yeah.
I better do it on Nyla because she's sniffing mushrooms.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Well, about the end of the tunnel, it breaks out into a big cavern. And there's light coming through from above, but you can't really tell where from. And in the distance, there is a point of light, a kind of a dark bluey, greenish kind of a light. Just hard to make out due to all the twisting vines and massive roots and branches that are breaking out of the walls in this cavern. And this is not a cavern that was here before. Like on this route, this is new. Like, how did this get here? Where did it come from? Why is there this massive cavern full of trees and roots in this room, in this space? And below, across the surface of the floor of this cavern, which incidentally is about 60 feet below the aperture at which your passage arrives, are pools of liquid. Looks like water, but there's kind of glowy, almost like oil slick colors across the surface of them. Multiple colors, rainbow streaks in the water. And they wrap around the base of massive trees and branches and roots that just this tangle through this whole space. And the path itself seems to be built into the side of one of these branches that goes across into the cavern.
Looking around, does it look like the space was carved, or just seems to have spontaneously always been there?
Seems to have always been there. It looks like it's a natural cavern, and everything in it looks relatively natural, except for the light coming from the distance, and the little motes of light that are dropping around you, which incidentally are creating a kind of a dim light in your near vicinity. And they allow you to see, I suppose, quite a lot further than you would normally.
Yeah. The light in the distance, is that more or less the direction we're heading?
Yes. Yes, it's following this particular... well, for now it is, yeah. It seems to be in that direction, yeah. But it is coming through the behind branches and things, and it's hard to make out what the source of that light is. You can't really see where that light's coming from.
This is strange. This is very strange.
Unnerving. I don't like it.
This wasn't here last time I came. Storm, do you recognize any of these trees?
Do I?
You can make a nature check.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to do it, don't you? Right.
Well, I could do it, but
Right. Okay, fine. I'll make you a nature check. Okay, here we go. Nature check. Nature +0. But you rolled a 17.
And also, isn't the Undertaker's favorite terrain?
It is your favorite terrain, which is probably why you recognize some of these trees. They tend to grow in some of the deepest places. They gather their heat and warmth and nutrients from the depths and from the heat rising from the bottom of the world.
They tend to grow in the deepest places. They tend to get their heat from the bottom of the world.
Okay, so it's not... There's nothing we should worry about, at least involving the trees then.
We should always worry.
They do look, however, to be ginormous versions of any of these species that you've seen before.
These are definitely bigger than any species I've seen before.
And the fact that they're here is a concern because they weren't here last time. Okay.
Yes.
We should keep going, but stay vigilant.
Very well.
Stay waterlant.
Vigilant.
All right. So as you continue, look just in case there's like any combat or anything, wouldn't want you to run into anything terrible. But I am. Hold on a minute before you do it. Let me.
Oh no.
Adjust this thing because somehow I've got some level fucking 5 Vaingate Chronicles characters in my encounter, which is quite annoying.
What?
I know, isn't that annoying?
That's from a while ago.
Yeah. So let's try this again. Okay, let's do initiative.
Alrighty. Adric got a 14.
Okay. 14, was it?
Yep.
Alright, I'll plug that in. Nyla, I guess I'll roll for her. What is her...
I've got the direwolf stat block up. Her speed is a +2. Her dex is +2, sorry.
Dex is +2. I can roll her initiative. She gets +8 to initiative. Did you know that?
Oh my gosh.
I think
Yes,
she's told us very smugly.
Yes, actually.
Very smugly indeed. Okay, so she gets a 16, and Storm... Did I roll you? I thought I did roll Storm.
Are we...
No, that was a perception check. Okay. Storm is flat 16 plus 3 is 19.
Is Hlyn taking part as well, or is it just Miglaya?
We will put Hlyn and Maglaya on your initiative.
Okay, brilliant.
Okay, and you can... I guess you can use the same stat block for both of them if you're okay with that.
Yeah, totally.
Alright. Cool bananas. Very well. Well, as you continue through, can I get more perception checks, please?
Certainly.
$17.
That's a tasty 22.
Ooh. I suppose narratively we know that Hlyn is the beast dwarf warrior here, huh?
The beast dwarf warrior. Well, she would have been if she hadn't been kind of somewhat surpassed by Adric. I suspect Adric is a
okay.
bit more kick-ass by now. The fact that he's
also
carrying like 3 different sets of magic items and...
True, but she won't know that, or she won't probably believe that.
She won't notice it. She won't note it, and she definitely won't admit it.
Right.
Yeah, and like she's a very, very tough woman. She's not... I imagine her being like very drill sergeant-y. Because she's had to be her whole life.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And also, she's getting on in years, so...
Adric, as you're looking around and you're traveling and you bring the wagon down onto this road. The road is literally on top of this massive route now. And you all have to get together and lift it down out of the tunnel and onto this new road way. And as you do that, you look up and you see amongst the branches and trees around this small diminutive figure with a kind of hook nose and little sharp teeth and hair tied back over its head, pointing a bow and arrow at you with a stone head on the arrow, which it lets loose at you. And what's your armor class? Your armor class is stupid. So
21.
Woof, this stone arrow comes loosened by this, what appears to be a goblin to all intents and purposes. Woof! It lands nearby you. At that point, a second arrow comes flying out from another direction, and Goodale, this time you see it coming towards you. It rolls a 13. That's not going to hit you because you're wearing frickin' plate armor, if I'm not wrong. Storm, what do? You've seen these 2 arrows come in from 2 different directions. You're looking around. Your perception check was... Did we roll a perception for you? No, we didn't. Better do that now. Pretty
Sorry,
good.
folks, there's no music tonight. We're having some technical issues with Discord.
Yeah, we have technical issues tonight, so you're going to have to imagine the music, or possibly Adric could sing it for us.
Adric is not going to sing music.
Okay, so you got a 19 on your perception check, Storm. So you see this going on, and now you spot there's a number of goblins hiding out in tree branches at a certain distance. They're about 60 feet away on average from all sides. What do you do, Storm? It's your turn. I cannot hear a word you're saying.
Still muted, Barry.
I'm just trying to get that.
I put an arrow in my bow.
Very well. And
Ooh.
Fire!
fire. Okay, so you're firing with your longbow. Okay.
Yep.
You loose an
So-
arrow. You roll a 15 to hit. That just hits. Their leather armor past their shield. It just hits. And you do 7 points of damage, killing the first goblin instantaneously. Boof. He falls from the tree that he's sitting in. You have... How many attacks do you have per round? I think you might have 2 attacks.
2.
Yep.
Yeah,
Two.
Ranger, so he's got 2.
Very good. So you fire a second shot. It's a natural 18 for 24. So you roll another 7 points of damage, killing a second goblin. Just like that. Boof. So that's 2 down.
Oh, that was very disappointing.
Another arrow comes in from the side towards you, but it misses with an 11. Nyla, what does Nyla do? Should we vote?
Chat, what do you want Nyla to do?
She's currently in wolf form, and I'm pretty much going to keep her in wolf form for this adventure. So she doesn't really have any ranged attacks. What can she do besides? She could take the dodge action.
Dodge action, bite. She could piss.
She could piss.
She could like try to just urinate really horrifically.
That's a terrible, terrible idea.
It's just crazy enough to work.
Just crazy enough to work. Okay, Nyla's going to take the dodge action, I think, unless anyone said anything really clever in the chat. No. Okay. Alright, Nyla's taking the dodge action. Another goblin, who looks a little bit scarier than the others, hefts a javelin in your direction.
Could I just interrupt this combat
Yes.
to say Anixtra has said sing for sub? So I think that means that if he buys a sub, then
One of
he'd
us
like
has to sing.
Adric, something like that.
Right. Is that what you mean, Nextra? Is it sing for sub? Is that the plan?
Yes.
Come on, Nextra. He's probably typing furiously the lyrics to some very hard song.
Probably.
I mean, I was actually gonna sing like Helvigen by a I think they're a Nordic band that one of the art directors at work showed me, and it's all in Norwegian, I think. So it's gonna be like at the very least in theme.
In theme, yeah. That sounds,
Epic.
That
Yes.
sounds excellent. Adric's lovely voice then, for sure. Okay.
I agree. I agree.
Well,
Jeg som
That's-
gani sokte, jeg som gani sende, da den djupsta bruni gav mig drappar sarame. I don't know how the melody goes, av valda valfaders pant, allt vet jag Odin, kvar du auch löjnde. Vem skall sing mig?
wow.
Dods fevna sling mig. I think we've had enough.
Wow. It was a gifted a sub to the community, to the
Holy
Wall Street community.
shit! Thank you, Anixtra.
I
That's
don't-
very generous of you.
Yeah, wow. Thank you very much. And I play with an extra on Wednesday nights, by the way, and he's playing a barbarian orc. So yeah, he hasn't had a chance yet to smash anything yet, but I'm sure he will. Anyway, okay, so the 19 javelin comes at you, Adric. Your armor class is stupid at the moment. It's higher than that,
21, yeah.
21. Okay, it misses. Very well. Goodale, it's your turn. What was your perception?
What was my perception?
17, it says here. 17, if I go all the way back to here.
Yes, I think that's correct.
Okay, so you notice another couple of goblins. At least another 3. Possibly 4.
Dallas says to Adric, "This is so frustrating. We just took some in as refugees, and now these ones are attacking us. It's so confusing."
Well, we've fought beside elves and we've fought against elves too.
Yes, this is true.
Okay, well, that's your turn then.
All right.
Adric, it's your turn. Well, you just said
Okay.
all a bunch of stuff too, didn't you, really? So I think that's your turn as well. Sorry, guys. You can make brief commands in combat, but if you're going to have a conversation, that's your turn.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
Okay.
So then it's like Hlyn and Miglaya.
Ooh. Yep.
They just looking at this at the shield dwarf stats.
Yeah.
They don't have any ranged things.
They don't have any hand axes or anything they can toss.
There's nothing on there, but like, can we? I just give them 2 hand axes because that's Adric's standard thing as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Okay.
Okay, so a hand axe is 1d6 plus strength, and
You still have to roll to hit though.
yeah, totally. I'm just figuring out what it is.
No
So that'll be a 20 plus
Wow.
their proficiency, which they've got a +5 there. Okay.
I'm just looking at all these subs that have just come in. My goodness. Wow. Thank you.
Okay, rolling 2d20s for their first attack,
All right.
or for Meglaya's first 2
Maglia's.
multi-attacks.
Okay.
Yep.
Go, go, go.
Okay, so Meglaya got a 2 and a 6. So neither of those I don't think do it.
Okay.
That's the end of
That's
her turn.
All right. And
And she's hucked both of her hand axes.
all right.
And now Hlyn, she got a 13 and a... she got a 18 and a 19. So I think those 2 do it.
Wow.
Oh,
Another sub from Wolfskin Witch this time. My goodness.
Huzzah!
You guys are
Wow.
What is this? Oh, we got the Hype Train. Hype Train
Awesome.
sub gift or use bits to get. Oh my goodness me. This is some interesting stuff going on here in Rollstream today. Okay. So
so
you got a 14 was the highest to hit for.
Hlyn got a... Because I'm adding the +5 to hit from the Warhammer
Right.
to these.
Yep.
And so that's an 18 and a 19.
Oh, well, they both hit then.
Okie dokie. First d6. That is 3 plus her strength. So that's a 3. So that is a total of 6 damage for the first hand axe.
All right. Is the second one aimed at the same target?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think she'd want to double down and just remove obstacles.
Yep.
And that second one is an 8 damage.
Okay, so that's another dead goblin falling from a tree above you. Splash! It falls into the water below, sending ripples through that multicolored oil slick-like liquid below in the pools down at the bases of the trees. All right. In which case, the next goblin makes its attack, and it is aiming at Hlyn with a short bow. It gets a 21 to hit. I'm thinking that's going to be a hit. What's her AC?
Yeah, that's 21. Sorry, I was looking at the chat. Excuse me.
No, that's fine. 7 damage.
7 damage. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Next goblin is firing at Goodale because she just doesn't like you. But there's a 12, so she's not going to hit you. Now we're back to Storm. You going to fire arrows again, Storm? I can only assume you are.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, I'm going to roll your to hit rolls first. Oh, a natural 1. Oh dear. Now I'm just going to roll to see what happens to your bow and arrow and see how severe this is. Oh dear. Okay. The bowstring actually snaps as you draw it.
Oh no.
You're in such a rush to take these guys out, and the bowstring snaps. You've got a spare bowstring, but you're not going to be able to restring it during, at least not within the next turn. It might take a D4 turns to restring the bow. 2 turns. You're going to lose 2 turns.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Natural ones, they suck bum. Goblin attacks, shooting at Storm, just for the sake of it. With a 15. Storm, your armor class is in fact 15, so it hits you. And it does not a great deal of damage, 5 points of damage. It's enough to be quite annoying. You've got 60 hit points minus 5, you've 55 hit points. Okay, Nyla is still holding her attacks, etc. We may say that Nyla is trying to protect the wagon and the animals and keep them calm. Maybe that's...
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Our next one is the goblin with the big hat on. And he is tossing another javelin at Adric. This time he gets an 18 and misses. The goblins, there is a goblin standing just behind him, passing him javelins, so he has a second attack. This time he gets a 22.
Definitely hits.
That will hit.
Yeah.
Okay, Adric, you are going to take a massive 5 points of damage from a
Oh
javelin.
no!
Yes, I know, it's life-threatening. Goodale, your turn.
Right, Gadale resigns herself to fighting people again and pulls out her spiritual weapon and we'll use that on one goblin. I guess we'll attack first and then see what I do next.
What's the range on the spiritual weapon?
60 feet?
Just enough, okay.
Just enough. Right.
It goes right up to the end of its range and you're attacking one of the goblins high in the trees above you.
All right.
with a
Her head's
sev-
really not in the game. She rolled a critical 1.
Oh dear. Your weapon chops off a piece of branch that comes falling towards you. Can you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
All right.
Light him up, Darla, says Wolfskin Witch. Sadly, she's
That's an 8.
lighting herself up. Okay, you take a 7 points of damage from a massive branch that lands on you. It's bludgeoning damage.
Oof.
So this branch comes clambering down on you. Boof, smash.
I'm never drinking again, all right?
Do you have any actions, bonus actions, movement, flavor, or dialogue you'd like to add to that?
I would like to call some sacred flame down on somebody.
Okay, sacred flame. Who you sacred flaming? One of the goblins or the one with the hat? That's been throwing javelins.
I'll try to get Javelin Man.
Okay.
He's making a dex save.
Okay, he's making a dexterity
14.
save. 14 is the DC. He fails. He fails with a 10.
Woohoo!
Yep.
And he takes 10 points of damage.
Takes 10. Oh, 10 points of damage. Okay. Remarkably,
And Dal's gonna extricate herself from under the branch and...
he cries out, "Ah!" as he's burned down the whole side of his body from head to foot, burned by the sacred flame that drops from above him, searing into his flesh. Adric, it's your turn.
Is the chief goblin still alive?
He is.
Can I pick up the javelin he threw at me?
Yeah, sure.
So Adric's gonna pick up the javelin, the one that did stab him, and from where he grips it, green flames are gonna rise from his hands across the shaft to the blade, and he's going to huck it at the man.
All right, roll to hit.
That is an 18.
18 hits.
Excellent.
All right.
So
you penetrate his
first up-
chainmail shirt and his shield. And do...
So, firstly, I do 11 piercing damage from the javelin.
Okay.
I also do, because of green flame blade, an extra D8 damage.
He's already dead.
Okay, so he bursts into flames
Yeah.
and dies. And you said he had a friend next to him?
Yeah, there's a goblin right behind him.
Okay. Rolling a D8 to harm him. That is a...
Is that because he's in within 5 feet of him?
Yeah.
Okay.
So green flame blade harms the intended recipient as well as somebody adjacent to them.
Okay.
So that's total of 11 fire damage to the second goblin as well.
My goodness. He also goes up in flame. And jumps off the side, trying to save himself, trying to put himself out. He falls to his death into the murky twilight pool below.
And it doesn't like... So you said it had an oily sheen. It doesn't actually ignite, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, thank God.
But that would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious if it just exploded.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. At that point, Storm, another arrow comes towards you and misses you, and it is now your turn. So I'm assuming you're going to fire arrows. No, you're not. You're busy restringing your bow. Ha ha. So you're not doing nothing. You're restringing your bow. That's your turn. Another goblin is firing at Storm with a huge 18. That actually hits you, Storm, for a massive 3 points of damage. 3 points of damage. So it just really just nicks you as it goes past, dunk, taking a little chunk out of your shoulder. But you're still restringing your bow nonetheless. Nyla's holding her actions and protecting the animals. Goblin boss is dead as a doornail, fallen to his doom.
I think Hlyn and Miglaya are going to be now that they've thrown both their hand axes each.
Yeah.
They're probably just going to both take the dodge action and try to protect the Wraith.
Right, that makes sense. Good move. Okay, Goodale, it's your turn.
You're muted, dearest Joe.
Yes, we cannot hear you, Joanne.
I wish I could.
Joanne.
But I
Oh,
can't.
no.
There you go.
Terribly sorry. Goodell's going to try to aim better with her spiritual weapon this
Right.
time.
Aim better.
Yes.
Do better aim. Good. Roll to
Do
hit.
better aim and hopefully hit something.
Yep. Dun, 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 dun,
Ha
dun.
ha!
What is that?
From a 1 to a 20.
Oh, wow. A 20. Okay, natural 20. So you're doing critical damage with your spiritual
Huzzah.
weapon. So right-click on your damage and choose critical damage and do the thing, and you know how it works.
I do,
You
but
better
it's not
by
working.
now, because you've been playing for over a year with us.
One would hope,
Yes.
One would hope.
but it won't roll.
It won't
Why
roll.
won't it roll?
It's not
There.
rolling. Oh, yes, it's working. Okay.
17 points of damage.
Crikey dick. Okay.
Hell yeah.
He did. He did.
Yay!
Okay, good. That leaves, as far as you can tell, there's only one left. And that one turns and begins to run. Now, he's at about 60 feet. He's going to move 30 feet this turn.
Whole person!
Hold person. Do you have that as an action?
Yes.
Okay, well, you only used a bonus action, didn't you, in the last round? Okay,
Yes.
so you can use your action to hold person.
He
that-
makes a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom
that-
saving throw. Let's see if he can. He's got -1 to that. 14.
Correct.
Yeah, I rolled a 14 with -1.
Bummer.
So he stops momentarily and then shakes his head, "Rah!" and then keeps running. Yep.
My bow's not fixed yet, is it?
You've got. Basically, by the time you get your bow restrung and an arrow drawn, he will be at long range, and you can have a shot.
I
with
can
a
do that because I've got that ability with that thing. One of my
Sharpshooter?
Sharpshooter, is it?
Yeah, sharpshooter.
Let me have a look at your features and traits.
Because we all know how you fudge your rolls, Barry. We can't trust you.
What?
I know.
You sneaky, sneaky man.
I keep saying it's my disability.
Sharpshooter. Okay, let's see this. Attacking at long range doesn't impose disadvantage on your ranged weapon attack rolls, and your ranged weapon attacks ignore half cover and 3/4 cover.
Hell
Before
yeah.
you make an attack with a ranged weapon that you are proficient with, you can choose to take a -5 penalty to the attack, but you add +10 to the damage. Okay, so we're taking -5 to the attack roll,
Yep.
but you do not have disadvantage.
Yep.
You do get 2 attacks. So the first
Yep.
attack is a natural 2, so that misses.
Yep.
The second attack is a 9 plus 7 is 16 minus 5. So it's
Yeah,
11.
I've got 5 on it.
Yeah, minus
Yeah.
5. It's 11. That does not hit. And he gets away. But you get very close to him.
He's not very pleased with himself.
He was obviously destined to escape.
He roars with frustration, literally.
Right. I'll give you inspiration if you do it for me.
Roar!
Hell yeah.
Alright. I'll give you inspiration. Keep that in mind. Excellent. Okay, so everything goes quiet now, and the trees stop sort of bouncing now that there's nobody climbing around or running around on them. Well, Adric, what do you think that was all about? Goblins now? What is this place? Never been like this before.
I don't know. It's the first time seeing it this way myself.
What's that murk down there, do you think?
It's worth investigating.
Aye.
I was concerned when the burning one fell inside that it might be oil, but it didn't ignite, so there's that, which is good.
Lucky thing indeed, aye.
Should we check the goblins' bodies for clues as to what their purpose is?
Well, first of all, you would have to get to their bodies.
Right.
Because they're up on branches and things around.
And nobody fell down?
Well,
Yeah,
the
some
ones
of them
that
fell in the water.
landed in the water 60 feet below you.
Right.
So there's no bodies that you can easily acquire without, maybe casting some spells or something. I don't know. Maybe you've got something up your sleeves.
Can I nudge one with a mage hand and see if I can dislodge him?
You could, but it can only carry 10 pounds.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's even got the range. What's the range on mage hand? I think it's like 30 feet, isn't it?
Probably,
It
yeah.
might be 60 feet, but I think it's 30 feet.
I think you're right.
Grandmother
30 feet, yeah.
Miglaya, Dala and Storm and myself might have a quick just investigate down there. We'll be right back. And Michael's intention is he's going to cast Featherfall, but what he's going to do is he's just going to grab their hands and step off the edge, so to just terrify his family.
Okay. Well, you don't see their expressions, I suppose. So who are you casting Featherfall on?
So Featherfall. What am I doing?
Do you have
Let me
a
actually
way
double
of-
check if it works how I think it works.
You better do that, and also check how you're going to get back up here.
Oh yes, that's also true. Range, sorry, 60 feet, up to five falling creatures within range, so I can do us no problem.
Yeah.
But that is a good point. I hadn't thought about how we're going to get back up. I know that Tabashi can climb walls pretty well.
He can
think.
probably climb up the side of the tree.
Yeah.
With his claws,
Actually-
but
Yeah, and I'll take that back actually. Storm, do you want to try climb up there and see if you can get one of their bodies down to us?
See you soon.
all right. So Storm, you're going to make a couple of athletics checks. Acrobatics or athletics? It's really typically it's athletics for this type of stuff. You get
That
the
makes
same
sense 'cause
bonus
it's
anyway,
climbing.
to be fair. Okay, so here we go. Your first roll is an 18. Your second roll is a 21. And your third roll is another 24. So Storm just goes doot, 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 and he jumps and climbs and jumps and climbs and leaps across to the nearest branch that has a goblin's body hung in it. And you approach the body, Storm. There's a goblin's laying there with one of your arrows in his throat. And you
It's the good arrow.
so you pull the arrow out and recover it.
I can, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you turn the goblin over, and he seems to have a small pouch by his side, a couple of pouches actually, hanging on a belt. Rudimentary goblin-y clothes and a cloak that seems to be damp up to the knees. torn hood, very little in the way of armor or anything like that, no jewelry. He has a piece of string around his neck, tied tightly and woven into an intricate pattern. You can make a religion check if you like, Storm. Yes, I will make a religion check, says Storm. Very well, Russell, roll your... Okay. Religion check. Here we go. Where is religion? All the way down here. +0. But you roll a natural 20. Storm, the rope weaving, the string weaving around his neck is woven in a pattern that you have encountered before. In fact, do you remember when we ran the Sunless Citadel for Storm that time?
Yeah.
Those goblins had this exact pattern around their necks, and it was emblematic of the god Maglubiet.
Maglebiet.
Do you look inside the pouches?
Yes.
You find some semi-precious, or shall we say not very precious, stones. But you do find, oddly enough, some silver. And that silver is stamped, and it's actually pretty dirty. It's not clean at all. It looks very old and worn, and the faces that have been stamped in it are almost smudged off entirely. But one of them resembles an image of the Winter Queen.
Okay, he comes down with all the stuff.
All right. Okay, well, we better make some athletics checks to see you don't fall in the water. 20,
And he's got that ring too.
22,
He's got a ring
and another...
that enables his
Did you see those
dexterity.
rolls? Did you literally see those rolls? Like, that
Yeah.
was pretty ridiculous. Okay, so Storm easily jumps from tree to tree, climbing down, jumping, running, jumping, climbing trees, and returns back to the group.
Maglubiet. That's the god they worship.
I heard that before.
And look, in the pouches. They are silver, dirty, but silver. And Winter Queen silver.
Aye, very strange.
Very strange.
But what Wiggins said then makes some degree of sense that it felt like a crossing to him, he said, right? So it does make some degree of sense that they'd have it, because we saw some goblins when we were in the Feywild.
Does that mean these elves came from that place where I was, Russell?
Goblins?
Goblins came from that place where I was?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, I'm just being sure about it.
Just means they worship the same god.
Okay.
Coins from the Winter Queen, so and fey mushrooms.
So it feels like, I'm just making a guess, but it feels like the Feywild is leaking into here.
Maybe. Nyla? Does that sound like a good...
It's the most sense you've ever made, Nyla.
She probably bites you, Adric.
She tries. I've got the dwarven plate.
Her face is stained with Feywild mushroom.
And her pupils are dilated.
Yeah. For
Of
sure.
all the things to turn into, she had to turn into a dog.
Oh, I didn't
Oh.
even think.
Ooh,
Well-
that's true, yeah.
If that's what she wishes.
Well, we better keep going. Otherwise, what's going to stand around here and incur more attacks?
Alright, so continuing onward. Dun dun dun. So you move forward, travel forward, following the the path along the roots and through the roots and through the trees. And that's all very fun and games for a while, and you begin to get tired. Do you take a rest eventually? Because this cavern is huge.
Yeah, I think we probably just take a break underneath a tree. Probably not too far from some of the water, actually.
Okay.
What do you reckon, guys?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, so you go down towards the water basically at some point, and as you approach there, you see there's a couple of islands that sort of sit around inside that in the water with big tree roots plunging into them, huge arching roots over the top, overhead. Yeah, these big natural arches, and you're surrounded in sort of twilight covers, blues and greens and browns and blacks. And you settle down to set up your camp. Upon doing so, one moment, please.
Oh no!
Can I, just in case there's any more combat, just get some more initiatives from you guys?
I don't see why that would happen. We never fight things.
I know, fighting is very uncommon in this game.
Yeah.
Adric's at 12.
12.
I'm whatever you throw.
Yeah. Storm is a 20. Nyla, okay, better roll for Nyla. +8. Cracky dick.
That mushroom.
Okay, so Nyla's a 15. Alright, very good. Very good. Okay, so you're setting up your camp, and do you light a fire or what? How does this work? Tell me about your camp.
I think we do, because like the cavern itself is already pretty well lit anyway, right?
Yeah, it's kind of twilight light.
Okay. I don't see why not. Unless Storm, our esteemed ranger friend, sees a reason why we shouldn't light a fire.
Couple FPS is now following us. Yay! Thank you.
Huzzah!
Woot.
Is there a reason I can think of why we wouldn't light a fire except our enemies might see it?
That is the only reason that you can think of why you would not light a fire.
Is it
There
cold?
is.
The other reason might be that it's hard to gather dry wood.
Ah, that is a good point.
And the small fact that there is a lack of dry wood could be a problem.
You make a good point. Okay.
Well, I'll bundle up in my cloak and take first watch.
All right. So
Thank you, Della.
Darla is taking first watch, and the others are going to have a bit of a snooze.
I will go and sit with, what is her name?
Clean?
No, the one going to do first watch.
Oh, good
Oh.
deal. Right.
Her name's Dalla.
Isn't that her first private name?
It is. It's been so long. Gudela.
Gedela. Okay. I'll go up and keep her company.
All right then. Wake us if anything should happen.
Will do, Adric. Storm, do you not need much sleep?
Oh, cat. We, I believe you call it catnap.
Fuck off.
Well, just to be clear, let's just see. I don't think that Tabashi have any fancy no sleeping business. Not like elves. I mean, elves.
No,
literally-
I'm not saying he doesn't sleep. He just says he does it every so often,
Right. No. Right.
like cats do.
You got me wondering, so I had to look it up.
Yeah.
You see.
Okay.
I thought maybe you knew something about Tabashi I didn't know, and I thought...
No, 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 no.
It's a secret new thing that's happened because of Mordenkainen's Monsters of the Multiverse.
Right.
But it isn't. I
Yeah.
lied.
I imagine he probably like jumps up in the cart every now and then when no one's watching and when he's sure it's safe and he just has a little bit of a sleep.
Well, that's fair.
Like one eye open, gone.
One eye, yeah. The way cats do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you got brother,
I do, actually. In fact, I think I might get out my crystal ball and check up on him and see what he's doing.
All right. So you're going to make a scrying check of some description. Now, the crystal ball that you have... I think it's an Arcana check.
An Arcana check,
I
okay.
think so, but I'm going to double check to make sure.
That's a
Okay, so you have a standard tip crystal ball. While touching it, you can cast the scrying spell. Your DC is 17.
Right.
You can see and hear a particular creature who you choose that is on the same plane out of existence as you. Well, I see a problem there.
Oh. Okay.
Because we're
Well-
not in Sidariel anymore.
The target,
Shoot.
yes, okay, the rest of it is moot. You discover that you are unable to perceive anything relating
It's
to...
broken. Do I understand immediately why it's not working?
I think that your Arcana check might answer that question.
Ah, right. Okay. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, I think you figure it out.
Oh my goodness, Storm. We're not, I don't think we're in Sidariel anymore.
You're not in Kansas either.
I was thinking it.
And Nyla is not Toto.
What should we do? Should we wake up the others or what?
Wait until they wake up and then tell them.
Are we in the Feywild?
We could be. I had an adventure a long time ago where I got on this road that was on the Feywild. But I didn't know I had got on the road because I thought I was where I was until I realized I wasn't.
Oh, does this look like that road?
No, I don't. Russell? No? Say no?
It's a road. What does a road look like? I mean, there's a long road. The different parts of roads look different. It could be the same road. It might not be the same road.
It could be. I understand it changes from time to time. What was the name of the
Right.
road again, Russell?
It was simply the old road.
The old road.
The old road. Does Goodale know the lore of the old road?
History check. Adric, you can make a history check too, but it's I think
He's
you-
asleep, isn't he?
Oh, he's
I'm a sleepy boy.
Right, sorry. Yes, good point.
That's okay.
That's a dirty 21.
Right, you've definitely heard the story of the old road, and what you know about it is that if you were to step onto the old road, then you have to follow the old road all the way to its conclusion, or you will not get back to your home world.
Oh my gosh.
You know something? If this is the old road, we have to follow the old road.
And all the way through, otherwise we cannot return to our home.
Yes,
Oh,
pretty much.
no.
Michael looks a little bit sickened.
Well, you know it's not that bad.
It's not that
Because-
bad.
When Smoke and I were there were a lot of
Yes?
those creatures that we killed.
Right.
Yes, yes. And you go into a, if it's the same, you go into this, like a fortress.
Right. Storm, I need to explain something to you. This was meant to be a very short quest where we went and hid some items that were dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were supposed to get back to Vaingate, where there is about to be a huge battle. We do not have time to go the length of an old road right now.
But you have to go through the old road because, as I said before, if you don't go the entire journey of the
Yes.
road, you won't
Yes.
be able to return home. That's, of
Right.
course, if this is the old road.
If that's true, it might not be.
It's true.
How are we going to find out?
Storm, you just made a
Well-
perception check for 21. Darla, can you make a perception check, please?
Ooh, I got a critical 20.
Okay.
Huzzah!
Well then,
26.
what you both notice is this huge blue and white spider suddenly appear out of nowhere. It phases into existence right next to you and immediately tries to bite Storm. Its attack is a 13 and it misses. Okay, and it is now Goodale's turn.
Right. Goodale slaps Adric with her mage hand
Okay.
and
That-
pulls up her
what's that?
spiritual weapon.
Okay, you can roll to hit with your spiritual weapon because that is a bonus action on your first turn. First attack.
That's an 18.
18 hits.
Whew. Sounds like just barely.
Alright, do your damage.
That's
Five?
not 5. Yes.
Okay, 5 points of damage. Boof, you smack it with your spiritual weapon, but it appears to be encrusted in a kind of, what's the word? Chitin kind of armor. Blue, bright blue and white. Like its legs are segmented in blue and white sections and has these big, the front of it, and big, 8 beady looking eyes glowing from the front of its head.
Right.
It's still kind of glowing as it's come out of its phase into existence next to you.
Right.
So at the end of your turn, Goodale.
Yeah. Adric, are you awake?
Hey!
Storm, it's your turn.
Take out my swords, go to Zephyr Strike.
Okay, so you cast Zephyr Strike.
Yeah.
Alright, so a quick recap on Zephyr Strike. You're casting it at first level.
Yeah.
Okay, you move like the wind until the spell ends. Your movement does not provoke opportunity attacks. Once before the spell ends, you can give yourself advantage on one weapon attack roll on your turn. That attack deals an extra d8 force damage on a hit. Whether or not you miss, your walking speed increases by 30 feet until the end of that turn. So you are zooming around at top speed. That was a bonus action to cast. And you've drawn your weapons, which is a free action.
Yeah.
Or at least one of them technically, but I'm not one to split hairs.
One of them will do.
Okay, so you will attack. Now, let me just check something. I think you've got Horde Breaker as well. Horde Breaker. Do. Sharpshooter, Dual Wielder. Land Stride. Hunter's Prey, Colossus Slayer. Okay, so when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, the creature takes an extra d8 damage if it's below its maximum hit points. Keep that in mind. So if that's really, really important. Like super important. Colossus Slayer. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, the creature takes an extra d8 damage. Okay. That's a big deal. Alright, so you are attacking with a sword. That was a longbow, but it had the same to hit bonus anyway, so I'm just going to run with that. That's not a natural 20, an unnatural 20, which hits. You are using it with one hand, so it is a d8 plus 4. It's a longsword because you happen to have the dual wielder feat.
Yeah.
You do 7 points of damage with your first attack, and you want to add your force damage now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a d8, so 7 plus a d8, 7 plus a d8, 7 plus a d8, that's a 1. So 8 points of damage off of that, and you want to use your Colossus. Well, no, you can't, because he hasn't taken any damage.
No, he's got to take damage.
Right, okay, so your second sword attack, with your offhand comes in with a big old 25, natural 18. That does a d8 plus 4 is 9 points of damage. So you've done 9 plus 8 is 17 points of damage, I believe. Okay. 17 points of damage. Okay, well, the spider is not dead. Nyla is asleep or hiding or some shit. She's nowhere to be seen right now. Maybe she turned into an animal and flew off to go and explore. Who knows? But she's not here. Adric, it's your turn. You're just getting up. You're rising off the floor. That's half your movement because you were prone.
Yep. How far away is the spider?
From you, how far were you from the sleeping, from the camp, from these two, the fire and...
Oh god, I don't know, maybe... I don't know if they would be particularly far. Definitely less than 30 feet.
Okay.
Maybe they were just 10 feet away, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So, 10 feet, yep.
So I've got about 12 and a half feet of movement left.
Yep, so you can just make it to them, to the spider. Yep.
Cool. And we're going to pull up my big old hammer of thunderbolts.
All right.
And I'm going to smack it.
Good work.
That's a 28.
Well, you definitely hit it.
Certainly do.
And you do...
14 damage on my first attack.
Okay, that kills it.
Okay. Just splat.
However, as you kill it, and that ends your turn because there's nothing else to hit right now.
Yeah.
On the very next turn in this round, 2 more phase spiders appear in the trees nearby. One immediately leaps at you with its 30-foot movement and attempts to bite you, Adric. It misses with a 14. And then as a bonus action, it disappears. The next one does the same thing. But this time rolls a 19. Have you got your shield on?
I do not. Because I have both, hands on my hammer.
Right. Max, what's your AC right now?
21.
Even without a shield?
Yep. With a shield, it's 23.
What the fuck have I done here? Okay, cool. They miss. First one's dead. Goodale, it's your turn. You have your spiritual weapon out. Cannot hear you. You are on mute.
Very sorry. Goodale's going to attack with her spiritual weapon and then Sacred Flame the spider.
Sacred Flame the spider. Okay, so spiritual weapon, roll to hit. Sacred Flame the spider. Spider makes a dex save. 18 does hit. Dex save was 17. So I think that avoids the Sacred Flame, but gets hit by the spiritual weapon. Roll your damage for your spiritual weapon.
That's an 11.
Okay, good. Okay, and is that the end of your turn, Goodale?
Yes, so it saved on the dex, did it?
Save the dex save with a 17.
All right. Okay.
Okay, any other actions, bonus actions, movement, flavor, dialogue?
No, just say, I really hate spiders.
Storm, you have your swords out.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you've used your Zephyr Strike. Now let me just double check how that... Is it gone in this turn?
I think it is.
It has a duration of up to a minute. Concentration up to a minute. And you've used your... You haven't used your advantage roll yet.
No.
But you did do your extra D8 force damage. You know what? We can do a attack that doesn't do the D8 force damage, but does have advantage if you like.
Okay, let's go for that.
All right. So you are attacking with a long sword. It is a magical longsword +1. I should have rolled with advantage, so I'll just roll again. The first attack was a 10. Oh, and that second one was a 4, so neither of those hit. Your second sword attack with your offhand is a 12. That also does not hit. Sadly. Nyla's nowhere to be seen. Adric Fogdar.
How far away are these 2 other spiders?
Well, they just tried to attack Storm,
Okay.
So they're at close range.
Okay, so I'll go for the one that's not engaged with Storm.
Okay.
And swing my hammer for a 29.
For 29, that hits.
That is 17 damage. And second attack. That's a 25.
Bloody hell.
For...
That should make you fight Demogorgon or something.
Someday. 16.
16 to hit? Yes, that hits.
So 16 damage.
16 damage. Oh, he be dead. You crush that spider. You smash the chitin shell and just crush it to the ground.
Just smash. Next!
Parts of it begin to phase out as you do. Okay, is that the end of your turn?
That's the end of my turn.
Alright, the nearest phase spider uses a bonus action to get behind you. Whoomp. Attacking Adric from behind.
Mm-hmm.
It tries to bite you. It rolls a 19. Not going to get you, is it?
No.
No. Okay. Goodale. You look around. Can you make a perception check to see if you can figure out where this phase spider is? Well, Wolfskin said they're squishy spiders, but I don't know. Wolfskin, they're kind of tough. Actually, I just have a weapon that does 2d6 plus 9 things.
They're tough and plentiful.
Right, perception 25 with advantage because of your sentinel shield, I assume.
Mace of Disruption, I believe, gives me that.
Okay, and have you got that out at the moment?
Yes. Oh, wait, I thought I had it attuned
You do
so
have
that
it
I...
attuned. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I was just wondering if you had it out, that's all. But
Oh,
okay.
were you wondering that?
Well, you might have been sitting there with it in your hand so that, you know, if you were in close range, you could use it and not have to draw it. Okay, so Mace of Disruption gives you... Okay, anyway, you see where the phase spider is. Woof, it appears behind Adric.
Right,
It's
okay.
tried to bite Adric.
I will try to hit it with my spiritual weapon in such a way that does not hit Adric.
No problem. Okay, roll to hit.
That's a 22.
That hits. Okay.
And that is a 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay, and for your main action?
I guess the Sacred Flame. I'll try to bring some Sacred Flame down on it.
Okay, it fails with an 8. And it takes some radiant damage from your Sacred Flame. How much damage does it take?
It will take 7 damage.
So a Sacred Flame curls up, materializes above the spider. It doesn't even notice it's there. It's so intent on attacking Adric's leg. And it comes down, hitting it from above, doing 7 points of damage, which doth not kill it. Storm.
No.
Storm, at this point you've realized where it is because the Sacred Flame kind of pointed it out to you. You bring your swords to bear upon the spider.
So do. So do.
I thought you might. Okay, so sword 1, 16 hits. Sword 2, 18 hits. Okay, so you do first of all a 11 points plus that's the second attack doesn't get your strength bonus, so it will only be 4, so it will be a total of 15 points of damage, if I'm not wrong, unless you get it from your thingy-majig, your feature, your... Just going to check your traits. Your dual wielder, you get +1 to AC while wielding. That's important.
And if it's about to go down, then I can clobber it with that as well.
Right. Okay, so it's 15 points of damage. Okay. You smash it, but it's not dead. Adric, it's your turn.
After the spider's taken all this damage out, he's going to spin around to face it, and he's going to whack it with his hammer.
All right, whackety whack. You come bringing your hammer
I
down.
cast 5th level hammer. It's 24 to hit.
Right, and you hit, and you...
And I do 15 damage.
It'd be dead now. You crush it into tiny little pieces, and all of the pieces of all of the phase spiders phase out.
Okay. Any more?
You all stand around for about a minute in silence, I suppose. Nothing else attacks you.
Adric, we've got some news.
Aye.
We're not in Sidariel anymore.
Forget it. It might be news. It may not be what we think it is.
No, we're definitely not in Sidariel, but we are possibly on the old road, if you know what that means.
You gonna make a history check, Adric?
Yeah, because I'm not sure Adric would know what that is.
Maybe you should do it with disadvantage.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, because he probably would have spent a lot of time underground, not really. Yeah, disadvantage makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's either 22 or well, not 22. Obviously, it's a 16.
16. I would say you actually still have heard of the old road. It's a common enough story that
Would have even made its way down here.
yeah, people have been talking about it for hundreds, if not thousands, of years.
Hey, that's the one where you have to follow it to its conclusion, otherwise you never get off it.
That is correct.
If I have to go on it, because I've been on it before.
Maybe it likes you.
I don't like it. I can tell you that right now. It means I'm gonna have to throw more bodies.
Regardless, if this is the old road, we have to follow it to its conclusion. If it's not the old road, we have to follow it to its conclusion to get to where we're going anyway.
You know what I'm more afraid of?
What's that?
When you tell your grandmother.
I'm not good. You can tell my grandmother. Thanks.
I am not that brave, my friend.
No.
I am not that brave.
I'm gonna have to. I'll tell her when she wakes up.
So I'm just going to hit you up for initiative checks just because we finished a combat and you never know.
Yep. 13.
Storm was a 19. I
16.
believe.
Hey, why you're so fast?
Nerves. Very jumpy.
Hmm.
And
how
Nyla is
best we
a
just be
+8
careful then.
at her
Do you?
small
Is it time for my watch, or do you two still have time to go?
Well, are you rested?
I've rested enough.
I am
Okay.
conscious that you require more rest than elves do, Adric.
Well,
Okay.
I will rest for a time. You two can talk together and find out bad news just like we did. Okay.
Hey, sounds good to me.
Very well, so Storm is going to take a rest. He's taking his long rest now. Okay. Adric, you've had your long rest, so you can hit the long rest button on your character sheet.
Huzzah. Okay. So yeah, taking up my watch now. Dala, you can rest now too if you like. It's probably Miglaia's turn to watch.
Oh, yes, okay.
All right.
Ella goes to her rest then.
Very well. You can all take long rests. And
Huzzah! Rest time.
Yay!
some 4 to 8 hours later, you finish your long rests. The light in the chamber hasn't really changed. However, Adric, can you make a perception check while you sit silently for your rest? Sorry,
I
for
certainly
your
can.
watch, rather.
19.
19. As you look into the distance, you know, let me ask you a question. Do you sit in one place for the entire time during this rest, or do you get up and walk around at all?
I think, because I'm on this watch with Miglaia, so I think and she's an experienced soldier too.
Right.
So I think we take turns pacing.
Right. I'm going to say that you're on this little island at the base of the trunk of this massive, massive tree that reaches up above you. You're surrounded on all sides by branches, and I mean, even the trees are coming out of the walls, hanging down into this cavern in places. And so you get up and pace somewhat, okay? And during your pacing, your perception check of 19 gives you a moment where you pass between, where you can see between a couple of branches and trees up towards the other end of the cavern where the light seems to be coming from. And you notice far in the distance these little twinkles that are just a little bit more twinkly than the twinkles of the motes in the air. And so, thinking about it for a moment, you can kind of conclude that there are some large lights in the distance, very, very far in the distance, like maybe a mile or something like that, down this cavern.
Okay.
They seem to be forming like a little chain.
Are they moving? Or are they stationary?
Ever so slightly moving.
Okay. Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
But when I say they're moving, they're not traveling. They're
just like they're swaying like lanterns would.
Maybe or possibly bobbing.
Okay. Okay. I think he'll go and report that to Miglai once he's seen it, and just keep his vigil.
What did you say, Adric? Lights in the distance?
I'm not sure what they are, but they seemed mostly stationary.
Well, what creates a light like that, do you think? Do you think they're fairies?
Not entirely sure. Though I'd...
Wizards?
Oh, doubtful. Doubtful. The last we saw... Okay, it could be Drow, actually.
Drow, they don't often use lights at all, do they?
No, but it could be a new hunting strategy.
Ah, you think they're trying to lure us away from our camp?
That, or simply lure, prey.
Prey, well, I'll not be prey.
I didn't think you would be.
Nay.
And you've seen nothing like this in your time.
Not down here, no, not like that. Point it out to me, will you, Adric?
Aye. And he's just gonna lead her to the lights. Or to where he saw them, anyway.
And you point through the trees, and she's looking up in that direction. Can you make an insight check, please?
Certainly. For Adric or for... is this Clean or Miglaya?
This is for Adric.
Oh, for Adric, okay.
Why are you rolling with advantage?
Because I always have advantage on insight checks. Because of my runes.
Motherfucker. Okay. All right.
17.
17. You see her looking, and she's acting like she can see them, but you realize, you suspect at least, that her distance eyesight is not as good as yours, maybe even receded over the years.
I'm not going to...
Yes, I see. No, nothing to worry about that. I'd leave them alone if I were you.
I think that would be prudent.
Yes, prudent. And she takes out a dagger and starts running a whetstone over the edges of it.
Then he'll once that's investigated, he'll just go take a seat. Now that he thinks it's relatively safe now, so having judged that, he's going to pull out Zin's tooth and just keep carving on it.
Right. When you say Zin's tooth, you mean Ilgarax's tooth that you were carving for Zin.
Yes.
Not Zin's little tooth.
No, like I didn't pathologically rip out the boy's tooth while he slept.
Right. It was in fact the great white dragon Ilgarax's tooth, whom you slew back in Balkanad, whose tooth you're carving. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carving one of 3 now into gifts for Zin, Clariska, and Lord Balkanad.
Right. Wicked. Okay, so you're carving away, and the rest passes. There's nothing of any great note unless you want to keep talking to Chlyn further. She has nothing especially important to add.
So how have you been these last 2 years?
How have I been?
Well, good enough, I suppose, Adric. Good enough. Trained another 3 wee warriors to go forth as shield dwarves. Not many, not by my count. A long time ago, it was our ancestors. They would be training shield dwarves by the dozens each year, but now we're lucky to have 2 or 3 come into our ranks.
Is that just because of our population, or
Aye. It's a sad state. Every year there's our numbers dwindle.
I hope you understand that I didn't leave to dishonor us. I didn't leave to escape. I left because I needed to find a way to fix it.
She puts her hand on your shoulder. She fixes you with her hard stare, a little bit cross-eyed, but and she squeezes your shoulder tightly. She says, "You left, Adric, because you didn't know what to do. You were in mourning and grief, and you know full well that for many thousands of years there have been many attempts to fix what's broke, and naught has ever succeeded. Why do you think you would succeed where so many else have failed?"
Because I needed to. And I think I'm close.
You think you're close? Well, why don't you tell me how that might be? I'd be mighty interested to hear how it is that you're close where everyone else has failed at this task.
He pulls off his helmet, and he sweeps his hair to show her the mark.
Ooh, you had a bit of a bang there, didn't you?
That's not a bang. It glows when I do certain magic.
Really? What
I've had-
magic have you been doing, Adric?
Well, did you see me set the javelin on fire when I threw it at the goblin?
I'm afraid I didn't see that. I was looking the other way.
I can also grow in the same way the Dwager do.
Oh, that's evil magic, Adric. You sure that's... No, you shouldn't do that.
It's not like they do it. No, I started doing research on giant runes before I left. You know how much I always like those stories.
Yes, you couldn't shut you up about those damned Ostorians.
Well, so and he starts showing her the runes that he's done. They came to me in a dream before I left, and I had to forge them, and they give me power.
You've been having dreams about ancient giant Ostorian runes, and now they're giving you power.
I can show you.
And you don't think that's a little, suspicious?
Why would it be?
Oh, given how much you hate Mordin...
Well, that's where I'm going with this.
Oh, yes.
And he holds up, the tooth. When we killed this dirty great beast, it said something in its terrible language that I couldn't understand. But one of my companions, who's not with me now,
Aye.
did. And allegedly, the dragon said that it apologized for attacking Moradin's avatar. And then
She looks at you very seriously, like she actually believes you.
and I would give anything for that not to be true.
You'd give anything for it not to be true, but the rest of us would give anything for it to be true, Adric.
I'd rather it was someone else.
Well, it's not someone else, Adric Fogdar, it's you! You of the Fogdar clan! You have been chosen! Don't you understand that? This is a great honor and you're keeping it to yourself. Are you stupid?
What would I tell What would I tell the rest of them?
Perhaps you don't need to tell anyone anything. Perhaps you should just wait and prove it. Is that what you're doing?
Aye.
I see.
I think more than anything else, I'm trying to prove it to myself.
Well, how can you do that?
I need to bring them back. All of them.
What
Every
if
last
Moradin does
one.
not have the power to bring them back? What if this is not in Moradin's power at all? I mean, you must respect the fact that Dumerthoin is in fact the god of the dead. At least among us dwarves.
I do.
Have you prayed to Dumerthoin? Have you tried?
I've not prayed to anything or
Well-
anyone since Zarya.
Right. And did you do that before or after the little one died in your arms? She was born, another stone-born child.
After I prayed, I begged.
You prayed to all the gods, did you, Adric?
All but Moradin.
All but Moradin. Huh. Curious. Come now, Adric. It's a long time ago now. I know it's not long in dwarven years, but certainly by now much of that pain must have been fixed deep in your belly and turned into rage and power.
I'm glad it never happened to you. I'm glad you didn't have to carry that body.
Adric. You presumptuous little bastard.
Aye, correct me.
I might be your grandmother, but you do not for one moment presume to think that your father was the only child I carried in my belly.
I never asked.
You never did ask, and you never did know, and no one would speak of it even if you had.
So, did it?
Aye, aye.
And wouldn't you give anything to bring them back?
Of course, of course. But I have accepted my fate. However, she says, sitting down in front of you now, she takes out a wineskin and she tosses it to you. Here, have that. Except for the fact that you, Adric Fogdar, and she grins, you give us all hope now. You give us hope. Perhaps it is for the best. All this running around on the surface, all this investigating ancient ruins, slaying dragons, and I know I heard from your wife. Stealing gold now.
I was taking it back from people.
From people, aye, and I don't object, to be honest with you. The Barkyle Envoy wizards are right bastards, I know. You know, they were down here just a few years back asking for someone to guide them into the deep, deep Underdark. Of course, we all told them to fuck off.
No, I had no idea.
You had no idea about that? Aye.
No.
Well, that's
but
because you don't go near the clerics of Moradin. They would have told you if you only had been talking to them.
If only. But we did find another Barakala wizard at the Forge Gate.
At the Forge Gate.
They're colluding with the Dwegar.
Oh, I see. So they came to us and we told them to fuck off, so they went to the Dwegar. Well, that does make
Right.
sense, doesn't it? Just the sort of thing they'd do. And I suppose the
certain degrees,
Dwegar
yes.
agreed with them, did they?
I suppose.
More
Their,
reason
their
for
numbers
us
weren't especially great.
more
they
reason for
defiled
us to crush them ashen dwarves into dust.
I know, but they're still children of Moradin, aren't they?
Oh, barely.
And what if we could bring them back?
What if we could? Perhaps if you could, perhaps if you were to take this whole thing to its natural conclusion, whatever that would be.
Aye. So, speaking of natural conclusions,
Aye.
we might be on the old road.
You are surely telling me tales, Adric.
I only speak of it because Storm has allegedly been on it before, and
And
he
you
said
trust
this was
that
similar.
enormous cat thing, do you? You said
as
he's
far as I
new
can
to your companions.
He is new, but he's an able fighter.
I see that.
Aye.
I've seen that myself.
And
Aye.
he's not given me a reason to distrust him so far.
Agile, accurate, and frightening.
Just the kind of monster I need on my side.
Aye, aye. I thought that you would have had enough with me, but all right then. You need a cat creature with you as well.
You're too busy raising and training new shield.
You know, Adric, I'll tell you something. Would you like to hear a secret from old Helene herself?
Always.
I've had enough of all of that. I want a real fight, Adric. I want a real fight. I want a war.
Would you like to come with me to Vaingate?
Oh, I would like to come to Vaingate. I'd like to crush some of them human skulls under my hammer. Yes, I would.
Well then, I guess that's where we're going after this. There's a very, very big war at hand.
Well,
And I do need someone I can trust there.
there is a wee problem with all of this, of course.
What's that?
We don't know where we are, and we may well not be in Sidariel, as I overheard you and your cleric friend speaking earlier.
Well, regardless of where we are, we have to keep going. And how would she put it? I have to have faith that we'll get to where we're meant to be.
Well,
I know it's strange for me too.
well, yes. I suppose you do.
Can Dalla wake up and have heard that?
Sure.
Yay.
And her
She's
heart
not-
grew 3 sizes that day.
Indeed it did.
All right, so Dala wakes up. Is she being secretive about that? Is she quietly lying there with her eyes closed, listening? Well, actually, you're not
she'll
sleeping.
probably-
You're not sleeping. You're trancing, so you totally can hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, she won't say anything because she doesn't want to make a fuss over it and possibly send him inward again.
Right.
And Edric has no idea how trances work. Like, he's heard, oh, I'm going to trance, but he's like, you're sleeping.
Right. And also, Dala keeps collapsing every now and again, so there's that too. One of those is some kind of sleep, surely. All right.
Yeah.
Well, Adric, that's a lot to take in. A lot of information you've given me here.
It was a lot to live through.
Tell me about that dragon. I want to hear that story again before I go to sleep.
Well, and he does.
And he does. All right. Is there anything else you want to talk to her about, or anyone else about right now?
No, I think that was a really nice little moment, and I don't want to add anything to it.
Okay.
I don't think it needs more.
Yeah, I have that feeling too. All right, so you finish your long rest, and everyone wakes up at the end of it, and you eat some of your provisions, and you have your cup of tea, Dala.
Yay.
Storm, I don't know, noms some fish or something.
What does that taste like?
Hey, would you like some?
Edric, would I like some?
I think you'd enjoy it. It's different.
All right, we'll give it a go.
Right. Well, you see, there's a bit of a ritual to it. So you pour the tea thusly and you let it sit for a bit with the leaves.
Yes.
And then, well, I don't have any milk. I could pour some from the jug, I suppose. And are you a sweet person? Would you like some sugar?
Would I? Edric?
I can be a little bit better without it.
Mm-hmm. I would.
Okay.
Can I get perception checks from everybody, please?
Certainly. Come on, give me that good one.
25 from Goodale. 11
Hooray,
from
11.
Adric. Storm, you roll a perception check for quite high. It's going to be an 18. All right. Adric, you're clearly a bit busy thinking about something or doing something right now. What is it that you're doing?
I think he's thinking about he's probably just zoning out of a conversation with Miglaya. They're just thinking about everything that Killian said the night before.
Okay, very well. Well, those of you that passed this check, i.e. Goodale and Storm, you hear in the distance the sound. It sounds like it's getting louder, and it sounds like singing. And then as it approaches, it gets louder, and you can hear footsteps in the mud.
Shit.
I think I recognize that
burn
song.
the knees, eat the brains, and cut the blood, drink the blood, and
Right, down your tea, Storm. It's time to pack up.
Suddenly, Goodale, you got 25. You look out through the trees, and amongst the trees, in this twilight light, with these white drops of motes of light falling between them like leaves, you can see this creature, this white-haired creature with a beard. It's short like a gnome with enormous boots wrapped around its feet, these massive steel boots with hobbles on them. And this creature looks up to you. It's got this cap on, this red cap on its head, and it glances up at you and stops. And in that moment, it turns and begins to run.
I fire my bow.
All right, Storm, you fire your bow.
He's running away from us.
Yeah.
That's not good. It's gonna call us friends.
That's why I
16 to
fire my bow.
23 to hit is a hit. You do a d8 plus 4 damage, which is a 7 points of damage. I will take that and...
I get 2 shots.
Yep, okay, so your second attack is a 17, plus 7 is 24, that hits. You do another 9 points of damage. You hit him both times in the back, and he keeps running.
Oh no.
At which point, Goodale, it's your turn.
Right, well, I think Adele will also get her bow out. Maybe. She hasn't
Okay.
done that in a while.
All right. And so you knock an arrow, Goodale,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to fire.
I am.
Roll
Oh, I don't think I get anything
12.
now.
Does not hit, unfortunately. Do you have only one attack per round at the moment? Yep.
I do, yes.
Yep. Okay. Adric, you've seen Storm and Goodale both firing into the distance.
What's happening? What have you seen?
Can you make a perception check?
Certainly.
In fact, you know what? Make an investigation check because you failed your perception check, and now you're investigating to
I'm
see what
actively
they're looking
looking,
at.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oof, that's not good. That's
you-
a 6.
You can't see anything. Very well.
A little being with a red cap on. He seemed quite gleeful at the sight of us, and then he turned tail and ran.
Does that remind Adric of the Winter Queen's attendant? I forget his name.
Boots.
Boots?
Boots. is this guy anything like that?
Yes, he is, in fact. Well, to be honest, Adric hasn't seen him, so the red cap
Oh, yeah.
rings a bell.
Okay, no, fair enough.
Okay. I will use Zephyr Strike.
Okay. And you're going to go running after him?
Yep.
Okay, so you go zooming after him. Okay. So you are basically dashed ahead by 60 feet. And now you can see him. Are you going to just keep dashing to close in for like sword attacks, or are you going to stop and fire arrows, or are you going to do something else?
I'm gonna keep going for sword attacks.
Okay, so as you're running, you sling your bow over your shoulder,
Yeah.
and you draw your scimitars, or your longswords rather.
Yeah.
And suddenly you realize that you've been ambushed, because now there's a bunch of them and they all come flying out of the forest at you, because they've drawn you into their trap.
Okay.
So the first one comes in with a massive sickle that it has in its hand, swinging wildly with it. It rolls a 15, which actually... Now, you've got 2 swords out now, so that adds
Yeah.
+2 to your armor class. Haha, I remembered that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it in fact misses. You managed to guard the sickle with your 2 long swords. It gets... Oh, fuck. 3 attacks. Oh.
Oof, rough.
Second one is a 20. That's going to hit you. And it does 9 points of damage to Storm. Storm, you are at full hit points from your long rest, though, so you had 60,
Yeah.
you're down to 51. Its third attack, it kicks you with its iron boots. You're going to make a dexterity 14 saving throw. Dexterity saving throw. You do have +6 to this, but
Yeah.
you rolled a 2, so it's an 8. Never mind. You are going to take some damage from that too. Oh dear. And it's a lot. Bludgeoning damage, and you're knocked prone. You take 20 points of damage, and you are knocked prone.
Okay.
You are down to 30 hit points. That is half your hit points gone in one round from one of these guys. Bam. And so now you're prone. The next one swoops in with an 18 plus something, 24 to hit. That's going to hit you with the sickle. Actually has advantage, but it hit you anyway. So that's 11 points of damage. Storm, you are getting annihilated right now. He is going to try and grapple you, so you're going to make a strength check or an athletics check. Oh, against 19, not going to happen. Let's see.
It's not good. It's not good.
Redcap is holding you down in the mud, and he's trying to push your face down to drown you. You've probably got about a minute before he's... Well, I don't know how long Storm hold his breath for. They don't really have rules for drowning in D&D as far as I'm aware, but you roll an 8 on a Constitution saving throw, so you're not doing well. You're sucking in mud in your nostrils and mouth right now. Storm, it is your turn, though. Bearing in mind, you've got 10 hit points, you've got your face in the mud. These guys are extremely strong.
I touch myself. Wait, use my healing ability.
You're not a paladin. Oh, you're going to use heal. Oh, you're going to heal yourself.
Cure
with
light wounds, yeah.
Cure light
Can
wounds.
Yeah.
Well, that is a good question, and I suspect there's going to be a problem because Cure Wounds has a verbal component and a somatic component.
No.
So your face is in the mud. So tell me, audience, can you say magic words while you've got your face in the mud?
Nah, you wouldn't. I say.
Okay. All right. So you cannot cast Cure Light Wounds.
All right, I will. He's on top of my back and my face is in the mud.
He's not on top of you. He's holding you down.
He's holding me down.
What to take into account with these guys is basically their boots are like super gravity boots. They're super powerful, heavy boots that magically give them the strength to walk around in them. And the strength to kick the shit out of things with them. They're basically weapons. They're like magic artifacts that only these guys can wear.
I play dead.
Okay. All right. So you can make a performance check. Okay. You know what? I'm going to give you advantage on this roll because you're covered in blood. You've taken a lot of damage and you're face down in the mud. So I'm going to roll one more time for that. Performance check. Unfortunately got... Oh, that's better. Okay, 14. All right. You hear one of them say,
Hold him down, just in case.
so they don't continue attacking you. Now, at this point, Goodale, You could make any attacks that are over 60-foot range, so I guess you could use your short bow if you take your 30 feet movement.
Right. I think the first thing Goodale'll probably do is cast a healing word on Storm, and then she'll.
What's the range on Healing Word?
It's 60 feet.
Okay. All right, so you're going to heal him by how much?
By 7, which is not great, but
All right. 7.
it's something. And he's more than 30 feet away, is he?
Yes, he's 60 feet away.
All right. Then I'll try to pick someone off with my bow.
All right. Out of all of them, you can see that one of them has been injured. Are you going to go for him, or are you going to go for one of the others?
Yeah, I'll go for the injured fellow.
All right, roll to hit.
It's a 17.
17 does hit.
And that's a whopping 3 damage.
Wow. Okay. All right. You hear them cry out something in Sylvan. Do you speak Sylvan?
Do I speak Sylvan? I don't think I do. Oh, I do. I do speak Sylvan.
Hey.
All right.
Yay.
He says, "Take cover" in Sylvan.
Take cover!
Ah, take cover. They're on to us.
They're on to us.
Right, and the one that was holding you down reluctantly lets go of you, Storm, and moves to the trees, but it's not your turn. Adric, it is, however. Goodale, do you have any other actions, bonus actions, movement, flavor, dialogue?
No. not
Okay,
this
Adric.
stage.
Adric's going to. I'm going to use the dash action
All right.
to get as close as I can to Storm. Unfortunately, that's still only 50 feet.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to use my bonus action to enlarge,
All right.
and I'm also going to. Yeah, I'm going to use my action surge to cast light. Can I see any of them?
You can make a perception check.
Yeah. Okie dokie. That is a 23.
Yep, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 of these red caps.
And they're all still at least 10 feet away from me, right?
Yep, and they're all hiding behind trees right now. 2 of them are
Okay.
about to charge you because you've just gone past them. You see them in your
Oh.
peripheral vision now. You look now
Okay.
that you've come through these trees. They were hiding behind these trees, and just as you've moved past those trees, you see them preparing to attack you from both sides, flanking
Can
you.
I? Okay, can I then use my action surge to attack them?
Yes.
Okay, cool, brilliant. So I'm going to use my action surge to do my hammer ignites as I cast green flame blade on it
All right.
to hit the one, I guess, on my left.
Okay. Now they're not. They haven't moved into your range yet.
Oh, I see. I apologize. Then I'm just gonna, instead of that, I'm just going to throw a one of my hand axes at them.
You could hold your action until they come to attack you.
That is a much better idea. Yes, I will hold my action for green flame blade.
Okay. All right. So you're holding your action. The first one comes to attack you. Now you can use your action. There you go.
Yay!
Just like that.
Okay, brilliant.
We played by the rules.
We mostly
Briefly, we did. For a moment,
that's-
we followed the rules. Okay, 29 to hit. That definitely
29
hits.
to hit him.
All right.
He takes 17 damage from that,
Okay.
as well as my d6 giant damage, which makes that a total of 20, plus an extra d8 for the fire damage.
So wait, I recorded the 17, so then there's plus another 3.
Yep, that's for my giant. That's for my giant smite damage.
Yep, plus a d8 coming.
Yep, d8 coming now. That's
This
for
is-
an extra 5, so total of 25 for that.
Another 5. Okay. Yep.
And his friend takes d8 plus 4.
Wait, his friend is on the other side of you.
Oh,
So-
okay, then he doesn't.
So
Let me just read the rules for Green Flame Blade really quickly.
Yep.
On hit, the target suffers. The weapons attack normal effects, and you can cause green fire to leap from the target to a different creature of your choice you can see within 5 feet of it.
No, it's not within 5 feet of it.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, then he just takes that extra d8 then.
Okay, very good. At which point he attacks you 3 times with a sickle. 24 to hit.
24 hits, but I'm going to make him re-roll.
Oh, you bastard. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Oh, but he should have had advantage anyway. So his non. Okay, he still gets a 24 to hit.
Okay.
And he does 9 points of damage with his sickle.
Mm-hmm.
That was his first attack. Then he's going to actually try and kick you. In which case you can make a dexterity 14 saving throw.
Yep. That is a 20.
Okay, you do not get kicked.
Huzzah.
Then he hits you with a sickle for 21. Does that hit?
21 just hits, yeah.
Okay, and he does another 9 points of damage.
Okay.
The one coming from the other side, he comes in with his... comes charging in and kicks you. Make your dexterity save.
Yep. My luck wasn't going to hold. That was a 9.
You take 11 points of damage and you are now prone.
Okay.
This gives him advantage on his sickle attack, which he gets a 25 for.
Damn.
And it does another 9 points of damage. And that's his... no, is that his turn? I can't remember. I'm going to say it's his turn.
Okay.
Alright. Okay, at that point, two more of these guys that were the ones that were on Storm a moment ago, they come out from... actually, you know what? They don't do anything. They're holding their actions. Storm, it's your turn. You're laying face down in the mud.
I get up as quickly as I can.
Okay, that's half your movement speed. 15
Yeah.
feet? Yep.
Yep. Get my swords.
Yep, they're in your hands. Yep.
And the ones going for Adric, while they got their back to me, I'll take them.
Do they have their back for you? They
Well,
don't
they'd
have
be
their
going
back to
to
you.
him, so...
You're here, he's in front of you, they're coming into him from the sides, flanking him.
oh, well, they're concentrating on him. I'll take one of them.
Okay, so you're going to move behind one of them or just go straight to it?
Behind.
Okay, and did your Zephyr strike, are you still concentrating and we better make it... No, I don't think you're
No,
concentrating. That's
not
good.
now.
Not now, okay. Fair call. Okay, well, let's make 2 attacks on one of them.
It's a shame these creatures don't have something like bloodlust or something that they use.
Okay, 20. It's not a natural 20, but it is a 20, so it will hit.
Cool.
Your second
Cool.
attack with your second sword will be a 16, which also hits. So 2 hits from Storm. So your first is 5 points of damage, not massive. Then the second one is 6 points of damage. Okay. Oh, that's... okay. Actually, to be fair, Storm... Okay, you're moving to those guys. That's fine. I'm just going to do that.
Yep.
And 7 to him. Okay. Goodale.
Gadale is going to walk forward, sprinkling some holy water. So she needs to be within 30 feet of Adric and Storm.
Okay, so well, you
Okay.
can't get within 30 feet of Storm, but you can get within 30 feet of Adric.
Okay.
Unless you dash, but that would use your action.
Probably worth it. I'll do it.
Okay, so you're going to dash right up to where Adric is. Now you're within the range of Adric and Storm.
Right. Great. And
30
I'll
feet.
sprinkle some holy water, and I'm going to cast Bless on the 3 of
Is
us.
Bless a bonus action?
Is Bless a bonus action? Oh my gosh, that's right. Yes, no, it's not.
Right.
So I've just used my action.
Yeah.
Arrgh!
Well, you can still use your bonus action.
I will use a bonus action then.
Okay. Sacred Flame?
That's a cantrip, not a bonus action.
No. Cantrip isn't a type of action. Cantrips can be actions or bonus actions.
Oh, can they? I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like any spell.
Then I will Sacred Flame somebody.
Okay, just double check that it is in fact a bonus action. If you look at it,
Oh, okay. No, mine are all actions except for mending, which is says 1M.
1 minute. Takes a minute to cast. Okay.
Right.
Okay, never mind then. So you don't have any bonus actions that you can cast on this round. Sacred Weapon is a bonus action.
It is. I'll call it my sacred weapon.
Okay. Very good. So roll to hit with your bonus action, with your sacred weapon.
Same diff.
Yeah.
It's a 9. I'm distracted
You are
by-
distracted. All
by
right.
trying to get the right spell up, and it's just so overwhelming.
Fair enough. But you are also now in range of red caps. Adric,
Yes.
it's your turn. You are prone.
Okie dokie. Adric is going to stand up.
Okay.
And he is going to. I'm going to use my bonus action to activate my Hill rune, which basically just means that I take half damage from all of their attacks now.
Okay.
Which
Very good.
I think I need.
Yep. You.
Cool.
I
I'm
would
gonna
like to rage.
I would like to rage.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 2 swings at the guy that I started hitting.
All right. Roll to
Okay,
hit.
so it's 25 to hit.
That hits.
That is 16.
That-
I'm gonna add my d6 damage to that now.
Okay, you killed him. He's dead.
Okay.
You just knock him flat. As he dies, he just says,
Kick him down!
and then you hit him, and you knock him to the ground.
Excellent.
Oh,
Then I'm gonna turn on the other guy.
Yep.
4. That's a natural 1.
Oh dear. Okay, so let's talk about severity of this. I'm going to roll a d10 for the severity of your.
No.
natural.
Do you have an inspiration?
Actually, I'm gonna use my inspiration to unfuck that.
All right. All right. Try again. The laugh was a natural 20.
Hey, I wish. That's a 26.
though. Okay, very good. You hit.
That is 15, and I'm gonna use my d6 giant smite damage on this one
Okay.
to make that add 1 to it, so it's 16.
16 points of damage. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
certainly hurt him. Okay.
And that's the end of my turn.
End of your turn. Okay, well, the next red cap in the initiative is dead because you just smashed him.
Hooray!
This one is going to hit. He's going to kick you with his iron-bound pursuit, which means you're making a dex save.
Okie dokie. 20.
20. Okay, he misses you, and he immediately tries to spin around and moves directly to Dala and tries to kick you to the ground. So you're making a dex save.
All right.
I don't know why I rolled my damage before she did her save, but oh well.
If only I had been able to bless
Yeah,
myself.
Never mind. You take
But
18 points of damage, and now you're prone.
Oof.
Okay, he's got 1 attack left, so he's going to hit you with his sickle, and because you're prone and this is melee, he gets advantage to hit.
Sorry, how much damage was that?
18 points of damage.
Oh my gosh.
Dang,
that's some
what's your
kick.
armor class? It's like 20 or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. His sickle bites you, but it doesn't bite through your armor. And that is the end of his turn. 2 more red caps coming out of the trees up behind Storm now, because Storm decided to turn and leave them there to come and attack the 2 that were attacking Adric. So now they're coming up behind Storm. The first one is going to Ironbound Pursuit Storm, and Storm is making a dexterity saving throw. Storm has +6 to dexterity saving throws and rolls a 13, but it's not enough. Let me just check that. No, it's a 14 you needed. Okay, so Storm takes another fuckload of damage, 18 points of damage, and is prone. Storm, you are unconscious. Next round, you will be making a death save. The next red cap decides that, well, he's already lying down, so I'm not going to worry about him, and goes straight for Adric. He's using Ironbound Pursuit to charge at you with his movement speed. You're making a dex save.
Okie dokie. 7.
7. Okay, you fail.
Okay.
So now that you're on the ground, he tries to hit you with his sickle. He gets advantage, but he fails both attacks.
Okay.
Storm is on the ground unconscious. Storm, you're making a dexterity save. Can you roll a d20 for us, Storm? would you like me to do it? Do you see how serious?
Yes, please.
these
Yes,
people look
please.
now? Okay. You succeed. You have made one successful death save.
Oh, good.
Let me knock that in there. Okay, cool. All right. Goodale, it is your turn. You are prone.
I'm prone.
I believe
Okay.
so, yeah.
Well, I am going to. I'm going to try to get up and move to some shelter if I can. Can I?
Shelter,
Will
like
I be
trees?
disengaging?
You'll be you need to disengage if you're going to do that.
All right, I'm going to try to
or
disengage.
you can do it without disengaging, but they will get opportunity attacks on you.
Yeah.
Disengaging is an action, Joe.
Right. Can I actually? Is someone right on
Right
on
next
me?
to you?
On me?
Yes, there is. There's a red cap right on you.
I am going to do my telekinetic shove on him.
Your what?
Yeah, it's a
When-
bonus action.
When did you get?
Huzzah!
Well, now you've got a bonus action, huh?
Well, I forgot about it. You see? But yes.
All of a
But
sudden.
this seems like a good opportunity to use it. So I'm going to telekinetically shove this creature. He's within 30 feet of me.
He is.
He's got to succeed a strength saving DC of 14 or
Okay.
be moved 5 feet
Well, let's see if he can
away.
do that. So it's a strength save, DC 14.
Yes.
Okay. He fails. Okay, so you
Good.
push him back how far?
5 feet.
5 feet.
Preferably in the direction of his friend,
Okay.
if he's got a friend handy.
Yep, he does. So you push him in the direction of the next nearest red cap. Okay. Very good. Is that the end of your turn? Do you have any other actions, bonus?
Now I'm going to
actions?
bring some sacred flame on him.
That. Okay, and that is an action this time.
That's an action, yeah.
Okay, so he's making a dex save as well,
Yes.
which he fails.
And he takes 10 points of
10
damage.
points of sacred flame to the face. Okay, very good. Adric, it's your turn.
Huzzah! Adric's going to use his bonus action
Yep.
to second wind. So that's just going to 1d10 plus 8 HP. Amazing. So that's 6 plus 8, which is 14. So I heal for 14 hit points.
Okay.
Excellent. And
Is that an action or a bonus action or just a class
it's a, bonus,
trait?
it's a class bonus. It's a class trait, but it's a bonus action.
Okay.
So I'm going to use my action now to go and attack the stand up. Sorry,
Okay.
because it's prone. Stand up, and I'm going to hit the guy that kicked me.
Hit the guy that kicked you. All right. Rolling to hit. Ooh.
31 to hit.
Yeah, I think you hit. Hard to miss.
Cool.
With a
That
hammer,
is
though, isn't it?
19 damage.
Okay.
and-
You smash him into the ground. He
Huzzah!
collapses dead in the mud.
Is there another one near me?
There is one that is about 30 feet away.
Okie dokie. I'm going to.
There's two, in fact.
How far are those the ones that Dollar's interacting with?
Well, she's interacting with him at range. The one
Okay.
you just killed is the one Darla just pushed 5 feet.
I see. I've
So
got you.
you've killed him.
Okay.
Now there's two that are coming up behind Storm.
Okay. So I'm gonna make my way.
I'm
towards-
unconscious.
That's right. They were coming up behind Storm and they put Storm down.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start making my way towards them, but I'm only gonna make it about 12 feet towards them,
Okay. Well,
and
they
I'm going to, yep,
they
I'm going
step.
to huck one of my hand axes at the guy.
Okay. So you do that. Roll to hit.
That is a dirty 20
Dirty 20 hits.
for 8 damage, and I'm gonna add my d6 to that.
Are you going for
make-
number B or C?
Let's say C.
Okay.
That's a total of 12 damage from my hand axe.
12 hand axe damage. Okay, good. All right. The first one of those two comes charging at you with his iron-bound pursuit. You can make a dexterity saving throw.
Yep. That is a 15.
You succeed. He does not manage to knock you over. Instead, he comes at you with a sickle without advantage. He rolls 11 to hit, and then his second attack is a 23 to hit.
That hits.
That hits. Sickle damage is 9 points of damage.
That's halved down to. Is that 4 or 5?
I will run it down to 4.
Okay, 4 damage.
Yep. Okay. The next one does exactly the same thing. Ironbound Pursuit, Dex 14 saving throw.
Yep, that is exactly 14. Huzzah!
Okay, he does not manage to knock you down. He rolls a 17 to hit with a sickle, and then
Doesn't
a
he?
22 to hit with a sickle.
22 does hit, but I'm going to use my runic shield to make him reroll.
Okay, so he rerolls his sickle attack. He rolls even higher with a 25.
Damn it!
And he does another 9 points of damage. Why does it always roll 9? That is
Okie
weird.
dokie.
Okay.
So that's Adric down to 52.
Just 52. Okay, very good. Storm, you are making a Dex death saving throw. So I will roll that with a d20. That is a natural 1. What does a natural 1 do on a death save?
I think that's 2 fails.
Yeah.
Let me double check.
If you don't
Didn't I
death-
succeed in one?
You did. You succeeded on the first one. You have to succeed 3.
Nat 1. Let's see.
And none of these fine clerics tried to heal you while you were
I'm
unconscious.
so sorry. I was had the guy right in my face.
From what I can determine, the entry says if you roll a 1 on the d20, it counts as 2 failures.
Okay, so you've just had 2 fails. Boof, boof. Okay, so you've got 2 fails versus 1 success right now.
We just got Storm.
So yeah, it's not looking good for Storm. He's losing blood rapidly into the mud right now. His breathing is labored even as he lays unconscious, snorting the mud and blood out of his face. But the good news is that it's Goodale's turn next.
Hooray!
Yes. All right. I am going to channel divinity. Is he within 30 feet of me?
He is just.
Okay. Just. All right. I'm going to give him can restore I can restore you up to no more than half of your hit points using 40 hit points.
Okay.
So
half
what
of
is-
his maximum hit points. He's got 60 max hit points.
60
so
max.
30 is his.
Yeah, so I'll give him 30 hit points and I'll give myself 10.
Okay, so Storm just gets healed for 30 hit points. Storm. Okay, so 30. Oh, get all these things out of my vision. 30.
And then
How do I do this? No, not like that. Apply changes. Okay. Alright, so now you're at 30 hit points. You're awake, Storm. Let's just see. It's not your turn, though. So you're
No.
still face down in the mud, but you've
Right.
just been
And
healed significantly. Half of your hit points are back. Goodale, you got any other actions, bonus actions, movement, flavor, dialogue?
I believe that I've still got a spiritual weapon up, so I'll
Okay.
go after someone with my
None of the
Patronus blue sword.
None of the spells you've cast have been concentration spells. Mind you, spiritual weapons are not actually concentration spells.
It's
is it?
not. It's not. I
good.
meant to cast bless, but I haven't had the chance yet.
No
so
worries. Okay, so you are casting using spiritual weapon.
yes.
Okay, so you can roll to hit on the nearest red cap.
Oh, it's a 9.
Does
I
not.
think I was concentrating so hard on channeling divinity that the spiritual weapon just kind of.
Welcome, Otha Bushy Barn. I don't know how to say your name. I didn't get much of a chance to read it because it flashed up on my screen really fast, and now my
Otha Bushy
camera's
Barn.
out of
It's a
focus.
good name.
What-
Strong name.
Make a
Yes.
comment so we can see it.
Yes, then we can actually, if you make a comment, we'll be able to actually see your name. That would be very cool. Thank you for joining us. We're very close to the end of our stream, so just keep that in mind. Goodale, so that's the end of your turn. Yep. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Adric Fogdar.
Okay, so I'm going to continue my movement towards the one that I've damaged, and I'm going to hit him with my Hammer of Thunderbolts.
All right, roll to hit.
Hooray, 25.
Yes, you hit. Surprise, surprise.
That's 18 damage, and I'm going to add my Giant's Might dice to that. Oh boy, a whole 1 for a 19.
19 points of damage. Okay, very good.
And second attack.
He's bleeding now.
I do love it. 28 to hit, and that is 16 damage.
Okay, you kill him. He's dead. How do you kill him?
How tall did you say these things were?
Oh,
Gnome-sized?
they're tiny. They're like, yeah, they're not tiny, but they're small fae.
Because I'm so much bigger than them now, I just flatten him underneath the head of the hammer. Stomp it down like stomping a mud hole.
Right. Okay. The only thing really left is the boots, and the boots do not crush. They are basically unbreakable. These boots. But
awesome.
Everything else about him is completely mushed. He's just broken and smashed into the mud. Okay. Is that the end of your turn, Adric?
That is the end of Adric's turn, yes.
Okay, well, next two guys are dead. Okay, well, there's one left at this point. And he charges at Storm, who's still on the ground, to kick Storm. In fact, he's going to just try and kick you, Storm. You're going to make a dex saving throw. You're on the ground, so you're at a disadvantage to survive this. To dodge it.
Disadvantage to survive this.
Thanks, Russell.
Did I say that out loud? That was my
yeah, you said that.
That was my subconscious speaking. 11 sadly does not succeed. So his boots do 19 points of damage.
My God.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You've got 11 hit points, Storm, right now. These guys are beating the crap out of you. But there's only one left. Now that he's got you on the ground, he hits you with his sickle, and he has advantage to do that. Come on, roll, you motherfucker. The bad news for him is he misses with his first attack. And his second and last attack, but it's a natural 20.
Oh, yo, you're joking.
Not joking.
Because of course it is.
So he gets crit damage on this.
Oh, for fuck.
13 points of damage. Storm, you're unconscious again.
Yo.
13, boof. Okay, that's fine. Sorry about that. Okay, so, Storm, you're unconscious. You are making a death save.
No, for fuck's sake.
Fail your first death save. Okay. Goodale, it's your turn. Can't hear you, you're muted.
Sorry.
Yep.
I am going to channel divinity again because I believe I've got 2 of those. Double check. Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, so you're going to bring him up 30 hit points again?
I can bring him up to half. So what?
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
30.
So that's 30, and then I'll give the remaining 10 to Adric.
Okay, so 30 hit points for you. All right.
And then the remaining red cap gets the spiritual weapon
Okay.
in the butt.
In the butt. All right.
Anal vengeance.
21 to hit. Nice. You hit him. In the ass. For 10 points. Okay.
He's filled with a deep anal pain.
Oh, stop it. Turning me on.
I don't know which I
child.
feel more sorry for, him or me.
Right, so that's your channel divinity and your spiritual weapon. You've done that.
Oh,
You've brought
fuck.
Storms back to life again.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
been down twice in the same fight and within 2 rounds of each other.
No, 3 times. 3 times.
3 times? Oh, you've been knocked
Yeah.
down? Oh.
We've been knocked down quite a lot.
They got me the first time, the second time, and the third time.
Ooh. Adric, it's your turn.
Excellent.
There's one left.
Lifting the gory hammer off of his friend, Adric's going to grin and swing.
All right. Even though your friend's down on the ground dying, he's back up again.
Well, unless unless someone wants to give me an inspiration to fix my bum one,
Did you just roll a 1?
I just rolled another one. I can't believe I got two nat ones in the same
Even
fight.
if you get
This
inspiration,
has
you
not
can't
been
use
a
it
great
on this
fight
round.
for us.
Can I gift you mine? I've got an inspiration point. I'll give it to you
cannot-
because
he
of that
cannot-
lovely conversation you had with your grandma earlier.
You can give him the inspiration, but he cannot use it on this round because he's already rolled.
No. Okay.
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 So what happens, Russell? What happens to my
right,
with the one?
Severity of critical failures. You're rolling a lot of critical fails. Okay, you just drop your hammer. It just slips out of your hands because of the blood on it.
And the mud and the.
So you will need to take a action to.
Oh.
You basically you
right.
don't get your attack this round. You can use a free action to pick it up on the next turn.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn then.
That's the end of your turn. Bringing us back to our friend the Redcap, who is going to try and hit Ren again. This time he's just going with the sickle.
Not Ren.
Not Ren, Storm.
Yeah.
And it's with advantage because you're prone.
Oh,
but he
for
only
God's
gets a
sake.
16, which is not going to penetrate. Oh no, 16 is your armor class, isn't it? No, but you've got. What was it? You've got 2 swords in your hands?
Yeah.
All right, you managed to. He comes down at you with the sickle, and you just woke up from having been healed momentarily, and you raise your blades just in time to catch his sickle, even though you're laying with your back on the ground in the mud.
Yeah.
And you block the sickle strike with your 2 long swords.
Okay.
Okay. Then his second attack comes down.
Oh my gosh.
And it's also with advantage.
Oh, jeez.
The second one's a 20. He hits you.
Ooh.
No.
It's not a natural.
Not a nat, is it?
No. It's a flaccid 20. And it's an 8 damage for Storm, so he gives you a bit of a tickle. It's, a bit of a scratch there.
All right.
Okay, you're down to 22 hit points, Storm, from 60. At that point, it is actually your turn, Storm. Would you like to take
All right.
half your movement?
I'm
to
gonna
get
let
to
him have it with the sword.
Finish it.
Right, so you'll use half your speed to get to your feet.
Yeah.
You go at him with your 2 long swords. First attack is a 24, which will hit, and your second attack will be a 11, which will not hit. So you do maximum damage, 12 points of damage with your long sword, which really, really hurts him.
Okay.
And he says,
I'll cut your knees.
and now it is Goodale's turn.
Right. Goodale, I'm going to use.
You have your spiritual weapon up for a bonus action if you want.
Right. Well, I'm a bit concerned about Storm, so I'm going to actually say a healing word over him.
All right. What's the range
him?
on that?
60 feet.
Nice.
Okay.
Casting time?
Casting
Oh,
time. That's an instantaneous one.
Nice. Okay. 13 you heal him for?
13 I heal him for, and then I'll bring Sacred Flame down on the.
Okay. Oh, fuck. He was at 16, so I need to heal him for. Okay, you're up to 35, just over half hit points, Barry. You're using Sacred Flame, and he's making a Dex saving throw.
Yes, 14 is the.
14. He rolls a natural 2. Plus 1 is 3. He fails. So you do how much damage?
A big old 3.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. This is hilarious.
Dang it!
Okay.
These guys are so hard to kill.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you how funny that is later.
Uh,
Yeah, so Goodale,
Funny so far.
that's the end of your turn, right, Goodale?
that is correct.
Okay, Adric Fogdar.
Marvelous. Pick up my hammer.
All right.
And I'm going to smack him.
Okay.
I'm going to try to. That's a 30 to hit.
Fuck. He's dead. He had 1 hit point.
Oh no, Joe. Yeah, so I just golf swing, smash him across the clearing.
Smashes into the wall, into the tree, and his boots rattle against the wall as he hits it. You do realize that as you do that, the sort of physics of these guys is very strange indeed. It's literally like they're wearing gravity boots that they control. And
Weird.
that is where we shall leave our game tonight. We've gone a little bit over time. So thank you all for watching. Thank you
Yes, and for
so
commenting.
much
If
for
you're
your
watching
comments
and your cool comments and enjoying the singing.
and your subs.
Yeah, and the subs and the
The
I don't know.
follows, the
There's like
subs.
jewel things popping up in the chat
love,
and
basically the love.
all the love.
All the love. We thank you guys. We're going to raid a channel now.
Yeah, let's raid.
For the fun of that. Let's see who's available to raid. Oh. Mike Moans.
Great name. 10 out of 10.
Yep. And he's doing, it looks like he's doing some miniature painting or unboxing. I'm not sure exactly, but we'll find out in a minute.
How comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you again. We'll see you all next week, next Friday, to find out what happens next. Yay.
Bye, guys. Have a good weekend.
In the meantime, go
Bye.
check out our YouTube channel and subscribe.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
More shenanigans are there.
Yeah, more shenanigans. Lots more stuff. Okay. And
Ooh.
we can end